Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Thursday, November 28th, 2024, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App, $ORION-NWSF, or the YouTube Super Chat right here. Happy Thanksgiving 2024. We got the Miami Dolphins versus the Green Bay Packers. Kickoff is going to be here in roughly 10 minutes. So let's get situated and get ready for the last night of the game. Let's go. Surprisingly, on this Thanksgiving 2024 for the last game, every game has been good. I was really surprised, besides the bad clock management by the Bears at the end of the game against Detroit. But Caleb and the Bears, they tried. Obviously, the same thing goes in the other matchup with obviously the Cowboys and the Giants. The Giants tried, and I don't think anyone anticipated both of those games being decided by 7 points or less. 27-20. We them boys, 2 wins in a row after beating the Commandos, and then the Lions winning again for the first time on Thanksgiving in 7-8 years, but they won obviously again and again and again. Detroit 23, Chicago Bears 20, and then obviously this is the last matchup, and we kind of had a feeling that this was going to be the possibly best matchup of the night, potentially, but again, there is snow in the forecast, so I'm not sure if it's going to be like the Blizzard Bowl with the Browns and the Steelers, if it's going to be that bad, but I love me some snow. I love me some Thanksgiving. I haven't had a plate just yet, but I have been in contact with my best friend Justin, and when he's on his way home, which will probably be in the third or fourth quarter, or possibly right at the end of the game, I will be getting a call, and he is going to be dropping off some goodies for your boy. So I haven't got a chance to partake just yet, but hey, better late than never. Hope everyone got a lot of food. You're in a nice food coma, and then you can sit back with the NWSF and watch the last game of the night. On the left, we got Tua Tagovailoa. On the right, Jordan Love. Happy Thanksgiving. Let's go, baby. I'm ready. Daniel in the building. What's good? Ilka in the building. What's good? Cole in the building. What's good? Yeah, I think everyone already kind of knew that the Lions were going to win, but it definitely was a little bit interesting towards the end. But there's a reason why good teams find a way to win and bad teams find a way to lose. But if you got 30 to 40 seconds left in the game, you have to be able to call plays quickly. You can't let 30 seconds run off the clock with no timeout, even though you had one timeout left, and not setting yourself up for a potential victory or a game-tying field goal. And again, that's how coaches get fired. And that's how, obviously, bad teams continue to be bad. And, I feel bad for the Bears and their organization, but Eberflus and a lot of those individuals that are part of Chicago, they need to go. Again, they need to be able to find out the right type of leaders, the right type of people that know how to coach correctly, so that way that you can actually put yourself in a position to potentially tie or win. But, that's going to be for another stream on another day. Let's go, baby. I am ready. Dolphins and Packers. Let's go. Wait on my screen here. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We'll be shooting for 20 likes within the first hour, 30 to 50 overall, and obviously 100 in the donos on every single stream. Let's go, baby. Yeah, as they should. John Madden is one of my favorites of all time. And, growing up, with him doing the games with Pat Summerall was very, very special. And we obviously know how Madden has, turned global. It was first a thing for just sports people like me that would play, but it's kind of gotten to a mainstream global effect now. Even though the games were much better back in the day, but even with Madden, obviously in football heaven, still making a name for himself in that video game industry. And arguably, the best football game. I mean, a lot of people prefer college football because it's a little bit faster, but we just got college football back for the first time in 10 plus years. But still, nice that they are honoring Madden, which they should. He loved turducken. He loved Thanksgiving games. And we definitely miss having him, be a part of the NFL, obviously here in the 2024 season. Let's go, baby. We're going to have kickoff here in just a couple minutes. Let me get it all situated here. All right. TV in the studio is on a 75. I don't know how much higher I should go beyond that. I usually cap it out at like 80, but I don't want my speakers to blow. Happy Thanksgiving, my dude. How are you? Appreciate you with the posts as well. And again, I know some people are going to be busy. Some people are going to be in food coma. Some people are going to have other family obligations or they're going to be driving. But I assume we'll have a few people come in and out at some point of the night. And if not tonight, then I know some of the people will come through tomorrow for the Raiders and Chiefs. It's going to be an early one. It's going to be at noon Pacific. So obviously 2 o'clock in the Midwest, 3 o'clock in the East Coast. So I'll have to wake up extra early to take Paisley on a walk. But it'll be worth it, and that's what we'll end up doing tomorrow. Raiders and Chiefs, good rivalry game. Then on Saturday, we're going to do the Ducks and the Huskies, but I am going to also be watching that WWE PLE as well, which will start about an hour before the Ducks and the Huskies, so I'll cover both events at the same time. And then on Sunday, we'll obviously be doing Sunday Night Football, and then Monday night, let's peek ahead real quick to see what we have on tap. Raiders Chiefs on Amazon Prime tomorrow at noon. And then we got the 49ers and the Bills. I'm really looking forward to that. I know the 49ers have been reeling, but I really love Josh Allen and what he's able to bring to the NFL. He had a lot of interceptions and a lot of kind of, erratic play. But now with Diggs gone and, him being able to kind of spread it out evenly, and they finally got a good running back in James Cook. Honestly, the Bills' offensive line can be suspect at times. The Bills' defense is their liability and their bugaboo. But with that being said, they're 9-2, and they're probably the biggest threat to the Chiefs to make it to the Super Bowl. And I'm definitely excited to have the Bills on prime time against the Niners. Normally, if this was a normal year, that would be like must-see TV. And the Niners probably wouldn't be 6-5. They probably would be around the similar record as the Bills, like 9-2. So, injuries can really derail a team, but there should still be a fun game to watch. And then on Monday night, we got a sleeper in the Browns and the Broncos. Yes, I know Jameis Winston isn't the greatest, but he definitely makes an entertaining broadcast, especially if they have him mic'd up. And Bo Nix has been playing great. So regardless if you like Bo or you don't, or you like, the Broncos or the Browns, even though it's not like the most ideal matchup for Monday night, it's cool that Bo gets a moment on Monday night against a team that does have a good defense, but he can win. And that could obviously solidify his rookie of the year, chances against Jaden Daniels. If he really wants to put his foot in the ground, if he has a solid game against the Browns, that might be, enough for a majority of the voters to be like, yeah, he's probably gotten the award within the last few weeks, but this might be a little icing on top. But we are going to have to wait till we get to the end of the year to be able to see what the voters think. Sarah in the building, what's good? Happy Thanksgiving. I hope everyone got plenty of food so far. Good to hear. Yeah, and again, I didn't have a chance to visit, my dad and my stepmom because they're under the weather, so we're going to be celebrating Thanksgiving next Sunday. But in the time being, I ended up ordering some food, and I ended up getting some of my favorite pizza yesterday, and I ended up getting a Thanksgiving sub because I knew that, I need to buy food for yesterday, but then just in case, things fall through, that at least I have a little bit of what it is about Thanksgiving that I love so much, the food. And so that ended up hitting up the spot pretty well after a very early brisk walk with me and Paisley, like at 6-7 a.m. So got a little bit of that Thanksgiving food, not from a traditional dinner, but the best that I could think of with the limited time. And then my boy Justin should be hitting me up here at the end of this game when he's on his way home from family. And he's going to end up dropping me off a plate and some goodies too. Sounds like cookies and pie and a lot of extra stuff. So I'm very excited about that. And then I'll be able to be like y'all, and I'll be able to get into a little bit of a food coma. I don't even think I'll have enough food to honestly get into a food coma, because I'm just getting like a plate and, maybe a couple pieces of pie. But honestly, that'll be enough for me. Especially this is my favorite holiday out of all the holidays. I love the family, the food, the friends, and the football. I'm only getting 2 of those F's today with the friends and the food, but obviously with the family, and actually 3 of them with the football, and then I'll get the family next Sunday. Unfortunately, that's going to fall on a Chiefs-Chargers live stream day, but I got to be able to visit family, and so we won't be streaming next Sunday. But at that point, I'll end up having my leftovers and having my true Thanksgiving meal. And then about 2 weeks later, we'll have the Christmas meal. So I guess we're going to be doubling up in December, and I can't wait. Let's go, baby. Yeah, the Bears, what can you say? When you got 30 to 40 seconds left, you should be able to get a few plays, and you had a timeout called. But that's the reason why Poles and Eberflus and, they need to fire everybody. They need to really figure out the right type of people. But again, they had Shane Waldron, who was a terrible OC for Seattle, and they thought he was going to be the answer. So it shows you the people in Chicago are dumb. They don't know what it takes to be able to, build a winner. And most teams don't, and I haven't seen a debacle like that since maybe the Chargers with Justin Herbert when he had Anthony Lynn as well as Staley. We saw that kind of happen to that team multiple times, and it's heartbreaking, especially where the momentum was kind of in Chicago's favor with Keenan Allen playing well. Then he got hurt, then he came back. DJ Moore was playing well, and it just kind of felt that if they could have got a couple plays off, that they could have A, tied it with a field goal and went to overtime, or B, Caleb would have thrown for a touchdown and they would have won the game. They were driving, and it looked like they had some pretty good momentum with all the Lions players on defense getting hurt in the game. But, if you don't have a good coach and you don't have players that are coached up situationally, then you end up seeing some bullshit like that at the end of the game. So, but we already knew the Lions were going to most likely win anyways, and it's better that they won. Obviously first time they've won on Thanksgiving in like 7-8 years. So. Turkey stuffing, sweet potato casserole, mashed potatoes, green bean casserole, rolls, salad, and pie. Sounds good. What kind of pie? Pecan pie, pumpkin pie, apple pie, cherry pie. What kind of pie are we talking? Yeah, I haven't had anything yet. I did have that. I had maybe a quarter of my Thanksgiving sub last night to taste it. What it would taste like hot. And they definitely, Firehouse Subs has a money Thanksgiving sub that, in the future, maybe a couple weeks before Thanksgiving, maybe next year, I definitely will order it. I was surprised. Very, very light mayo, very, very light cran spread, and then a lot of stuffing and turkey in there. I definitely give it a 10. It was good. And then I ended up getting my round table pizza, my combo pizza, because I knew I was going to have to eat something, obviously, yesterday and today. Packers with a good return down the sideline. First down, Men, Green Bay. Yeah, it's either going to be you or me. It's not going to be the Saints more than likely, but it'll be Falcons or Bucks, and we'll see how it all, plays out. Mike Evans is back, so that's definitely going to be, giving us a boost that we needed. Hard to win when you don't have Evans or Godwin, but now Evans is back, and I imagine we're going to make it difficult for you. We're trying to go 4 years in a row, and again, I don't oppose Atlanta making the playoffs or, taking the spot. especially where we've gone through a roller coaster of emotions and injuries. Because if Godwin didn't get hurt, let's be real, we would have won the division more than likely. And I think that not only would we have won the division, I think that we would have actually had a good chance with Baker to make a deep run. And who knows, maybe even overachieve and get all the way to like the NFC Championship game against like the Lions and get smacked. Like I could have definitely seen something like that happen, or, you know, at least making the playoffs. And I would assume they would have a good chance to win at least one game, you know, possibly two. So, but with Godwin out, it definitely gives an advantage to Atlanta, and we'll see how it goes. You know, it's going to definitely come down to the wire. And again, the NFC West and the NFC South are not very good this year. So it really kind of feels that if it's Seattle or the Rams or the Niners or the Cardinals or the Falcons, the Saints or the Bucks, right? I'm not sure if any of those teams could win a playoff game. You know, and then obviously you got the Lions, the Packers, the Vikings, and then we'll see if it ends up being the Commandos and the Eagles, you know, even though the Commandos were reeling a little bit. All right, Packers, show me, baby. Yeah, it looks like the snow is going to start coming down. I don't think it's going to be as much as the Blizzard Bowl with the Steelers and the Browns, but this is a nice way for us to be able to hang out. And again, we're going to be doing an early stream tomorrow at noon Pacific for the Raiders and the Chiefs for Black Friday. And there's college football on tomorrow too, so exciting. I think Oregon State's got like the Boise State Broncos early at like 9, 10 a.m. So I'll be watching a lot of college football and a lot of sports tomorrow for sure.
Second in the league, and he had one in every start till last week. Pick 3, the victory over San Francisco.
All right, baby, here we go. Nebraska, Iowa, nice. I'll watch that too. I'm going to soak in as much college football and NFL as I can. False start there on Kraft. Incomplete, deep middle to Reed. 3rd down and 14. Let's go, baby. Dolphins, Packers, happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, I saw that. I was keeping up with everybody in fantasy, you know, even if we're eliminated, just to see, you know, I'm hoping that everyone's getting points. You know, it's like I don't wish that people are doing shitty or losing every week or playing bad. Love really leading Reed right there. Have a little bit of touch on that throw. That could have been something there. But, you know, I like being able to see people, you know, at least try to win. You know, I don't want to see people having zeros or low numbers, 5 points or less. So, you know, it's always nice, you know, even for the teams that haven't had a lot of success this year, including me, that, you know, at least, you know, you can have a couple guys play well so you can feel good about your lineup, you know. 3rd down and long. Love. Oh, hit up in the air. Calais Campbell with the recovery. And is that a fumble or an incomplete pass? Oh, my. I think the signal was fumble, wasn't it? They said incomplete pass on the field. Oh, I don't know. That was close. Let's look again. I mean, the hand is going forward, but the way that he launches the football, it's obviously the tip of the football going down. Yeah. Barely incomplete there. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us try to get to 20 within the first hour and a half, so we can hit the algorithm. And obviously, we'll be shooting for 100 in the donos on every single stream. A steady barrel of snow coming down here in Lambeau Field. And hopefully, we'll get the field covered in white by the time the game is concluded. But hopefully we end up getting it, you know, like we did in that Blizzard Bowl with the Steelers and Browns fumble. Oh, wow. Did they turn it over? I'm not sure if he got it back or not. Wow. He coughed it up. Yeah. First, we need Texas to be able to beat a team that's ranked. They have 0 ranked wins against top 25 teams, them and Miami. So it's like, they're popular, schools, right? And they have good players, but again, they haven't been tested. And, they've kind of gotten the bandwagon approach just because they're Texas and Miami. And they do deserve, where they are in the rankings, and they do deserve to be mentioned in the college football playoff. But again, not any top 25 wins just yet. So, and I think a lot of college football fans don't even realize what teams have top 25 wins and what teams don't. Oregon and Georgia have the most at 3, and there's quite a few teams that only have 1 or 2 or none. First and goal for the Packers off the muffed punt for the Dolphins. Not a great way to start here at Lambeau. Josh Jacobs dancing and romancing, pulling defenders all the way down to the 3. Going to Josh Jacobs a little bit too many times here. No gain. Third and goal. Yeah, but in all fairness, right? Anybody could beat anybody in the college football playoff. And the way that they have it set up, they don't even have it set up rewarding, the teams that had the best record. Like if you look at the way that the organization is setting it up, like Oregon, even if they have the bye, they would have to play Georgia in the second round. They shouldn't have to play Georgia in the second round. Again, if you look at the brackets and the way that they're situated, they are favoring teams that shouldn't be favored. Throw to the sideline. Touchdown, Packers. Extra point is up and good. 7-0 Green Bay. Nice job by Reed. Wide receiver 1 for Green Bay. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. 7-0 Packers. No, I don't think. I think there's been a lot of, Texas fans out there for a long time. It just depends if you're, going back to the Cedric Benson days or the Ricky Williams days or the Colt McCoy days or even further back. And again, you already knew that once, Georgia and Alabama, we're going to add Texas and Oklahoma, things were going to change in the SEC slightly. And again, you knew Texas and Oregon were going to take the spots of Bama and Michigan. Since Saban and Harbaugh were going to leave, that there was going to be 2 openings for 2 teams to take advantage to catch up and join Ohio State. And it definitely is Texas and Oregon. So we'll see how it all plays out. But, can't wait to see how that all works out. But yeah, and again, it's like you got power conferences, and then you got the first 4 teams with the bye, and then you have number 5. It's like Ohio State is getting an easier path than Oregon. If they would play in the first round and play like Arizona State, it's like, why should Oregon be the number 1 team, the only undefeated team? And why would we have to play Georgia if Georgia wins? And that would be the team that we would want to play Georgia in the Natty, and that's what the fans would want. You don't want to have Georgia and Oregon play prior if possible. You know what I'm saying? You want to be able to have the best of the best. Georgia, Oregon. Or Ohio State, Oregon. You want something like that, if Oregon were to make it. That's who I would want to play. I feel that would be the best matchup. Oregon and Georgia, Oregon and Ohio State, that's who I would want. But, we'll see if the committee gets it right or not. STL with a $5. Go Ducks. Thank you so much, man. $5 holla. Let me know what you want to see for photos. Thank you for getting it started on the channel. $5 holla, 95 to go. Happy Thanksgiving. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. And this is only the second time in my life that I haven't been able to have Thanksgiving with my dad. And, he's a little under the weather. So, with COVID still kind of, floating around and, and making sure everyone is going to be healthy and okay. I'm going to be celebrating it next Sunday, but I do have my best friend who's at family right now. He will be dropping off a plate before he goes to his house on the way home. So I'll be getting a little bit of turkey, rolls, mashed potatoes and gravy, hopefully, stuffing, and then hopefully, there'll be like some cookies and some pie that I'll be able to have some sweets as well. So I haven't been able to celebrate yet, but hopefully before the night is up, maybe in the third or fourth quarter, I'll get some food dropped off to me. But let me know what you want to do for any kind of photo. Go Ducks. Appreciate you. $5 holla. You the man. Happy Thanksgiving. I know that you don't really celebrate, but thank you so much for being here and supporting the channel, as well as myself and Paisley. Like, sub, donate, comment, share, like Megan did. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. We're at 25 now, 75 to go. Thank you to the two of you very, very much. We're a quarter of the way there. 7-0 Packers. And STL and Megan, if you have any photos of any amazing things you want me to highlight for you on the channel, just type it in the chat, and I got you. Yeah, we can do Adam Wainwright. We can do baseball. I mean, we can do music. You can do rappers. You can do singers. You can do a little bit of whatever, And one thing that I will mention, normally when they have like the Thanksgiving halftime show or they have the Super Bowl halftime show, right? A lot of times it ends up being bad, right? Or it ends up not being up to our standards, right? Or it disappoints. And maybe once every 4 to 5 years, we get an amazing one. But on Thanksgiving, it normally isn't the greatest, right? A lot of times they would do like, hip hop artists, and, no disrespect to hip hop, but you shouldn't be doing it a halftime show for the NFL with hip hop. It should be more like rock, alternative, or even country. And Shabuzi, I don't listen to country, right? And I've heard the, Getting Tipsy song that they play in bars all across the country, and being a brother, doing the country thing. Shabuzi's doing his thing. I'll be honest. I'm not into country. I don't listen to it. I don't hate it, but it's not my thing, right? The Shabuzi performance at halftime for the Lions matchup against the Bears was excellent. Like, it was so good, I didn't even turn the channel, And again, I don't know any of his songs besides the one. And I thought he did a very good job not forcing it and just being, just true to himself. And again, shout out to Shabuzi doing his thing. That might have been one of the very first Thanksgiving halftime shows that I didn't turn the channel or turn the volume down. Nice job. Not sure if you guys saw it, but I was impressed. He did a hell of a job. First down and 15, Tua. Achane. 11-yard gain. Nice job. Devon Achane doing Achane things. Michael in the building. What's good? Fly, Eagles, fly, my guy. I got you, and I got you. Just give me a moment once I call this game and once we get into the commercials. Appreciate you guys very, very much. Hope you guys are having a fantastic holiday. Second down and 4, Tua. And if the Dolphins are going to have any chance in this game, more than likely Tua is going to have to throw a minimum of 2 touchdowns, but probably 3. And then Achane has got to get on at least 1, preferably 2. But the Dolphins are going to need to be able to, get in the end zone, and they're going to have to get into the high 20s, low 30s to win this game. First down and 10. And obviously, if the snow comes down, that benefits Green Bay and not, Tua in Miami. He doesn't have a very good record playing in the snow or playing in a cold environment like this. Flag on the play. Offsides. Defense. Awesome. That's good to hear. All right, let me see if I can start a little bit here. Tua. Plays blown dead. False start. Number 89. John Hill. Under center. Man in motion. Achan. Not getting anything there. Loses a yard. See if we can squeeze in these Adam Wainwrights here real quick for STL. Know you love the Cardinals. Ooh, that one's fire, right? Very, very 4K-ish. Very sharp. Appreciate you, my guy. Can't wait for baseball to start back up. Thank you for your support. And we'll get Megan's photos loaded up here in just a second. Second down and 11. Shotgun set. Tua. Fake screen. Then he was going to go to a late delay, but the Packers sniffed it out. And I don't know how many trick plays you would be wanting to be doing on the road in Lambeau. You know, you can't get too cute out there. You just need to execute. Happy early birthday.
Not engaged. Smith's through Saw. Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness.
Oh, personal foul. Oh, third down. Come on, Jonu. Absolutely. Third down and long. Mostert for 3. That's not going to get the job done. You need third down and $1 billion, and then you run that play? Golly. Dolphins with the punt. I'll squeeze in a few more in a second. Dolphins with the punt. All right, see if I can squeeze in some photos here for you.
Save more starting at 5 a.m. with Black Friday savings at Weimar. Soothing sounds of bathing whales have been scientifically proven to soothe. So have our savings. It means Black Friday savings at Pointex with our
the year. Now, December 2nd, buy 3 Nokia, Nexon, hand cooker, Falcon tires, and get one free instantly. All season, all weather, and snow tires all on sale. Shop them at pointestire.com.
No sense. But boy, yes. When I grow up, I remember something. It's gonna be times. And we're going to be
7-0 Packers.
snow, rivers, and then around motorcycles. So cool. Giant campfires, giant restaurants. And we're gonna be adventurous. And we're gonna have so much.
Appreciate you. See if I can even squeeze in a large in here before the commercial ends.
What is it?
You know how you want a new car? Gift Autogroup will meet or beat any advertised price.
Now that's something to ask for that.
That's it. At Dick's Autogroup, we will meet or beat any offer from anywhere. You just gotta know where to go.
It's go time. And at AAA, we're here for it. Here
Over the shoulder, baby.
backyard barbecues. All in for the spontaneous road trip and well-planned vacation. For worry-free commutes, awesome adventures, and great escapes. From camping under the stars to 4-star hotels. Here where you need us most, with the best roadside assistance, like we have been for more than 120 years. Wherever your journey takes you, we're here to power it. AAA, here for you.
Get tickets now. Back to Dolphins.
Appreciate you.
Theaters now. Don't miss this spectacular cinematic.
We're at 25. 5 from STL, 20 from Megan.
The area surrounding the field. Theater fifth destination.
All right, Green Bay.
Try for the Dolphins.
Man in motion. Love. Play action fake. Pressure on the edge. A little check down with the screen. Blockers downfield. And a good effort there on first down to Kraft for 9 yards. 2nd down and 1 on the Green Bay 33. He is a pretty athletic tight end, Tucker Kraft. But I hope the two of you enjoyed the little photo montage there. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Heck yeah, that's why I had to throw them up for you. I mean, I got plenty of files just for you specifically, but yeah, we got to make sure we have some Seahawk representation for sure. Handoff up the middle. And I really do hope that you guys win the division this year. I mean, if obviously I know Will wants his Falcons, but if it's not the Falcons and the Bucks make it, I'm hoping that Seattle is the team that makes it. Obviously, from your guys' division. The Niners have had so many opportunities. Now they're hurt. The Cardinals, a lot of us thought that they would be the worst team, and obviously they played surprisingly good, for, a good chunk of those games. The Rams don't have Aaron Donald, and they kind of had their moment already. I mean, they're exciting with Puka and Cooper Kupp, but, for my money's worth, I would rather see Seattle. They've been close, and if they can just take advantage of everyone else's injuries and not have too many more of their own, I think that they would fit nicely in the playoffs. Tipped? Oh, he took a pop. Oh, man. If he didn't run into another player right there, that would have been an interception. And that collision prevented that interception from happening. Hopefully, they're both okay. But this would have been, you got to catch that. It hits you right in the pads, goes up in the air. He's got it. And then Christian Watson runs into him and prevents him from intercepting that football. Sometimes you got to be, the offensive player has to turn into the defender when it goes up in the air like that. And if Watson doesn't do that, that definitely, more than likely, would have been picked. But hopefully they're okay. 7-0 Packers. Yeah, and again, trap games. Because even though we know the Jets are terrible, on any given moment, they could score 9 points in one game, or this could be the game where Devontae Adams scores 2 times and puts up 30 points in fantasy, and Brees actually has a good game. And, you don't really know how the Jets are going to play game in and game out. So I feel that, like, yes, the Jets are bad, but remember, Rodgers is bad. Breece Hall isn't. Garrett Wilson isn't. Devontae isn't, right? Offensive line is shaky. Defense is not very good. But again, you know, anybody can beat anyone on any given Sunday, Monday, or Thursday. And I think that if Seattle is going to be on the road, right, it doesn't matter if it's on a shitty Jets team, if you're playing at Carolina, or you're, at home and you're playing one of the worst teams in the NFL. Like, that normally, just like, with the Hawks and any other team, you play better at home than you do typically on the road. No fans cheering for you, obviously booing you. But I definitely think that would be a trap game for Seattle. And if they treat it, as like, oh, we're going to win by 20, they may lose. So hopefully, they don't get too overconfident. They believe, their system, and they play within themselves. And then if they do all that and don't turn over the ball too much, yeah, they should win. But I don't think it's going to be like necessarily easy breezy cover girl where they're just going to mop the floor with the Jets and they're going to win by a bunch. I mean, it could happen. But again, we've seen the Seahawks play well. We've seen them struggle. We've seen the Jets look pretty good in a couple games this year and then extremely terrible in most of the games. So you don't really know what Aaron Rodgers you're going to get, the good, the bad, or the ugly, right? So we'll see, but I would be a little nervous too, about that matchup, because a lot of times, like even when the Browns played the Steelers, one team is like 8-2 and the other team is 2-8. And you're like, oh, the Browns stink. They're not going to be able to play good. But again, the team that's got the shitty record, they have nothing to lose. They're going to give their, best effort. The team that's got the better record, sometimes they'll take the other team for granted and maybe play a little bit too cocky and overconfident. And if they start slow, you might not be able to have enough time to claw back, especially if that other team gives you their best effort, like in fantasy, right? Like, I got the most points scored out of anybody in the league against me. I've never had that happen before. So again, if I'm having a hard time scoring and everyone is giving me their best effort, I'm not going to be able to win games, and that's exactly what's happened. I've never had the most points in the entire league scored on me, and I'm the guinea pig, the experiment, I guess. But it's bad enough that I'm not in the playoffs this year. But again, when you start to look at the stats and look at the numbers and then realize that I've had the most points scored against me from everybody, that's hard to do anything at that point. Nice catch, first down, Packers. And honestly, even if the game was in Seattle, it's still a trap game. It's a more of a trap game because they're on the road. And Seahawks traditionally aren't really the greatest on the road. Numbers are typically much better at home, just like every other, NFL team. You play better at home with your fans. So I would be a little nervous on that one. Especially when everyone in the division kind of stinks equally. So it's like, the division is definitely up for grabs, and you want to make sure that you're taking advantage of those games that you should win. But sometimes, sports gods have another idea. Josh Jacobs up the middle. I mean, if you're just looking at base staff record alone, but again, we understand records sometimes go out the window. Second down, hand off right up the gut. There we go. I like that run by Josh Jacobs. First down, Packers. Move the chains. Jacobs, even though he started kind of slow, I think that was the right move to move on from Aaron Jones and to go to Josh Jacobs. And I imagine Josh Jacobs is thrilled. He's no longer on the Raiders, and he'll be able to sniff the playoffs this year. Halfback toss. Good defense there by Miami. Because you got to think, at this point, it's like the Lions are number one, right, in the NFC, and then Eagles are 2, and then Packers are 3. But if any of these teams play each other, I mean, anything could happen. I mean, the Packers could beat the Lions. Lions could beat the Packers, right? And we know the Eagles could match up with both of those teams too. So it'll be very interesting to see who gets hot at the right time and who can take advantage of being healthy to make that push. And then obviously we got the Chiefs, the Bills, and then you got a couple other, teams that are going to be in the mix, like the Ravens, the Chargers, and the Steelers. Handoff. Jacobs, stiff arm. Good gang tackle there by the Dolphins. 3rd down and 4 on the Miami 22. Seven 0 Packers.
Jacobs a little bit of a breather. They've run 15 plays. Jacobs has touched in 8 of the 15. Now we're going to have a young receiving core. The second and third year players in the Packer pass catchers.
Shotgun set. Oh, baby. Look at Wilson. Man, Wilson got a little bit of burst. First down, Packers. Move the chains. For what? NFL or for college football? I assume NFL, since we're watching an NFL game. I assume that's what you mean, right? Because the college football playoff seating is just a bunch of garbage. Just a bunch of people in a room voting, and then they put them, in whatever seeds that they want, and it's not even in the right spot. So, but as far as the NFL, so you got 32 teams, right? So there's 16 teams in the NFC, 16 in the AFC, right? And there's 4 teams in each division, right? 4, 4, 4, and 4. NFC South, NFC West, East, and North, right? And then the AFC North, South, West, East, right? So 4, 4, 4, 4 on one side, 4, 4, 4, 4 on the other. So out of all of the divisions, every divisional winner, right, makes the playoffs. And then the, typically, how it would work in the past, then you would end up having the teams that have the best records after the divisional winners. Then you would get a couple additional playoff teams after that, with adding an additional 2 teams. At least that's how they were doing it before. So you would have 6 teams, on one side and then 6 teams on the other. 4 divisional winners and then the other teams with good records. Hopping into the end zone, touchdown, Packers, Josh Jacobs. And then obviously they ended up adding, another team in there. So, 4 spots, 5 and 6, and then they ended up adding 7, that other team. So essentially, you're looking at what? 14 teams, 7 and 7 that get to go to the playoffs out of 32. And then like in college football, you would have 100 Division I teams. And back in the day, it was like only 4 teams out of over 100 would get the BCS and then, college football playoffs. So they're definitely trying to work on that because it doesn't really make any sense to have 100 Division I schools and then you only have 4 or 8 teams that are in the running. And that's why we're doing the 12-team playoff, which will get pushed to 16 in a couple of years the next time that they vote. So. Yeah. And ultimately what it's going to come down to is that you have to win the division to make the playoffs. If you get second place in the division, you're not going to be able to make it more than likely because the record won't be good enough. Same thing goes for my team with Tampa and Atlanta. There probably is only going to be one team that's going to make it. Now, it is possible that the Falcons and the Bucks or, Seahawks and Rams both make it if that were to happen. But then we have to watch what Washington ends up doing, and they would have to go on a slide and start losing to make up more room for the other teams. But, so if you win, you're in. If I win, I'm in. Eagles are going to be in. The Lions are going to be in. You assume the Packers and Vikings will be in. The Commandos look like if they can turn the ship around that they should still be able to get in. And so that's why you probably won't get 2 teams from the South or from the West in your division because the records aren't going to be good enough, And normally you're going to have a 10-7 record or better typically to get in. Every once in a while, you might be able to get in with a 9-8 record for that last playoff team. But I think that, to feel comfortable, you want to get 10 wins and 7 losses. Then you feel like, okay, we're probably going to get in. So. Yeah, I believe that's correct as well. 14-0 Packers. We need the Dolphins to make a little bit of a comeback. We had pretty good games all day today, across the board. And I don't know, that was probably pretty shocking to some, including myself. I mean, I figured that, the Cowboy Giant game is just a bunch of crap. But, the Chicago Detroit game, besides the, bugaboo at the end with the play calling and the clock expiring and, not setting up the proper play with 30 seconds to go. It shows you that Caleb Williams is going to be in the same situation as Justin Herbert was at the beginning of his career. He's going to need to be able to find the right, GM, the right head coach, the right OC to mentor him properly. And so, we're, if that doesn't happen, then we're going to see a lot of up and down out of Caleb. But once he can get that solidified, maybe in a couple years, and hopefully they fire Eberflus after this year, that they can find a good combo because they have good weapons, like DJ Moore, is a pretty solid, right? Keenan Allen's old, but still can do it, right? They got some, pieces over there for him, but again, offensive line and defense could be a little bit better. But again, we could say that for many teams in the NFL. Offensive line and defense could be better. That's probably one common thing that we could say for all of our favorite teams. Offensive line, defense, could be better. 14-0 Packers. You got to get Achane in the end zone, and you got to get Tua to open up the ball. You got to be able to get the ball to Tyreek, get it to Waddle, get it to Achane, get it to Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith has been money for them in the last month and a half. You got to go dink and doink to Jonnu Smith, and then eventually it'll open up for Tyreek and Waddle, and then Achane is Achane. But we know Green Bay can be stingy on defense, especially at home. But you got to be able to stay true. Do not abandon the run with Achane. And if you do that, then the game's already over. I mean, it already is 14-0. So it already feels like Green Bay's going to win. But if you want to, at least make this a game like the Giants did and the Bears did in their losses, okay? Tua's got to be able to keep a balanced offense. Jonnu Smith, baby. First down, Dolphins. Fins up. Yeah, Ballard's needs to go as well. This might be like one of the first times out of all my sports teams. Obviously, the Mariners need to get rid of Dipoto, and obviously Stanton, the owner, ain't going anywhere. But besides that, Oregon's coaching staff has been brilliant. Tampa's coaching staff has been brilliant. I don't want any moves or changes out of those two organizations. So for my football teams, they got it on point. But for my baseball team, not so much. Good defense there by the Packers. End of the first quarter, 14-0 Green Bay, and that's about as smooth as it could have gotten for them at home. And again, Miami needs to keep a balanced offense unless they want to get blown out in this game. So. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. And I'll squeeze in a few more here. I got to delete some of these other ones here first. But I am excited for college football tomorrow. We got the Raiders and Chiefs at noon tomorrow for Black Friday, so I'll be streaming early. I'll be waking up extra early. And again, I don't know what it is with the neighborhood that I live in, and I don't know if it is like this where you guys live as well. But I have a lot of these dog owners that I can tell that don't walk their dogs, and they have no respect for anybody in the neighborhood. And a lot of them just have the dogs roaming around in the front lawn, and I had a dog yesterday that charged me in Paisley again, a different dog, and the dog was across the street. And then this lazy ass owner took forever as this dog is literally on my ass circling me and Paisley as I have her up in the air, and it's just like these people don't know how to apologize, And then as I was like walking away, and then I finally, took about 10, 15 steps and put Paisley down. And then this motherfucker has the audacity to say, oh, I should drop my dog. Like, I was like, do you want to fight? I'm like, but I can't, I'm not going to, this like fucking, some people, and again, I have to definitely keep my cool because not only do I have to keep my cool for myself, I have to keep my cool for Paisley, and it's just crazy to me that I've had to pick her up, multiple times. But again, I'm out walking with her about an hour and a half, 7 days a week. We don't miss any times, but I like doing our walks in the morning and the afternoon, or morning and at night, because I don't usually have to see people. But when we go in the afternoon, that's usually when we get some fucking asshole that's not watching his dog. And then when I complain and I fucking say something, they have to have some fucking attitude back. And yeah, I mean, I was pretty close to fighting the guy, I won't lie. But I wanted to keep cool for Paisley because obviously if I start swinging at this guy and we're in the middle of the street and the neighbors are outside as well, Paisley, what am I going to do with her? I have to like tie her up to a pole, and then the other dog is like right there next to her. I got to be a little bit more responsible as a dog father. But and then you got to think about karma, because if this was younger me, something might end up happening, down the road, in the future or later that night. Maybe I go back to that guy's house or something, but, I'm grown now. So obviously I'm happy that my anger, in that situation calmed down, obviously, but things could have gotten very bad. Achan, first down, Dolphins. Move the chains. I mean, like I said, and if you're at a park, you're supposed to have a dog on a leash, but every park I go to always has at least one person there that has their dog on leash. They think they own the fucking park, and so when people come up to the dog park, with their leash on their dog, you have to kind of be cautious. And I always have to be very extra cautious when I'm walking in the neighborhood, because you just never know when some random dog is just going to come out of somebody's house or out of someone's front lawn, And it's not like I provoked this dog. This dog was on the other side of the street and then ran towards, and luckily I, saw the dog kind of looking like he was going to charge us, and I grabbed Paisley early on. But I swear, like anytime I end up having a situation like that, the person that's the owner of the dog, they take their sweet time. Like they don't even care. They don't walk their dog. They don't care, and then they hear me complaining and then they like go even slower, But that last comment almost got me though. He's like, I should just put my dog down so like his dog could attack my dog type of thing. I'm like, he's lucky I didn't fucking snap right there. But let's just say I know where he lives, so we'll see what karma ends up doing to him. Screen pass. Nice move by Achan. Yeah. And it's like been a different person. I walk, within probably a 5 to 10 mile radius around my, area. There's, many different directions in the neighborhoods that I go to give Paisley that fresh look, so that way we don't do the same walk every day. So we walk long, long ways, miles and miles, for each walk that we do. But it's like, I'm not gonna have some idiot ruin my path of walking, Shotgun set on 3rd down and long. Tua, little flick of the wrist. Tyreek, not close to that 1st down marker. 4th down and 4. It's like if you're like an older individual and you can't keep up with your dog if it gets loose, then guess what? You probably shouldn't have a dog, or you should have a dog that's like, smaller, that you can actually contain and maintain and handle. Because I see a lot of these people that have dogs that, are too big and too aggressive for them, and again, if that dog gets loose and you can't run after it, like what happens if it runs into the road or it gets hit or it attacks another dog? Like you need to be able to understand that. And I think a lot of these pet owners are fucking oblivious. Shotgun set. And I can always tell with the people that walk their dogs, that love their dogs, and the ones that don't, you know? It's like, don't get mad at me because I'm fucking yelling at you to get your dog as your dog is circling me trying to bite my dog. You're lucky I didn't fucking throw a fucking punch. Especially with that last comment. But you know, I'm pretty surprised I kept my cool because I'll tell you what, if that was like 15 years ago or 20 years ago, I would have tied Paisley to a pole and I would have fought the guy. And he was a pretty big guy too, you know, like around my size, a little bit older than me, but you know, it is what it is. It's like you can only take so much disrespect, you know? It's like, dude, it's your dog that did this, not mine, fucker. Field goal attempt. Sanders. Kick. It's got the distance. And it's good, but we got a flag on the play. Yeah, but I think people need to have more common sense. Like if you have a dog, you know, you don't leave it loose in your front lawn. I don't care if you have a house and you think you're entitled, you know, over someone that has an apartment or like a condo or they're renting. Like just because you have a house doesn't make you like, you know, entitled to everything in the fucking neighborhood. Like, you know, like you own the neighborhood or something like. And like I said, I was cool until that last comment as I was walking away. He said, I should just drop my dog. You know, the fuck you should. Things would have got fucking out of control if he would have too. Definitely. Tua. There he is. Waddle. There we go. First down, Dolphins. And I'm definitely not the type of person to instigate a fight. I'm not that person. You know, I'm going to try to be the bigger person, the mature person, you know, but again, out of all the people, you know, it seems like almost every time that fucking situation happens to me every couple months, you know, the people are so unapologetic. They either don't say sorry or they say sorry and they don't mean it, you know. I got a little surprise for him. I'll tell you that. Whether it be today or it ends up being 6 months from now. I got a little surprise for you. Talking shit to me that way. Okay. Achane. Big tackle for loss there by the Packers. Yeah, Pacheco is back. Yeah, and again, like I said, everything would have been, you know, I was still pissed off with everything that happened, you know, but that last comment, you know, because he didn't like me yelling at him to get his dog, you know, as it's circling me and I got Paisley up in the air, so he had to make that last comment. I should just let my dog loose on you, he said. Oh, okay. I'll remember that. I know where you live, motherfucker. Third and goal. Third and goal. Go to Jonnu Smith, baby. Incomplete short to Mostert. Should have went to Jonnu Smith. But protection not very good for the Dolphins there. That wasn't even going to come close to being a first down anyways. Now they got to go for a field goal. That's better than nothing, though. You know, I could definitely tell that he's like one of these entitled fuckers in the neighborhood too. Thinks that his shit don't stink and that he's better than, you know, the other people in the neighborhood kind of guy, you know? So. Extra point. Nah. Field goal up and good. Sanders, 14-3, Green Bay. I'm in good shape now too. So I'm not overweight and slow. Plus, the other neighbors that live across the street were outside and saw the whole thing. So it would have been a big fucking spectacle, let me tell you. But I got to be able to protect Paisley. Finally, we get some points out of Miami. 14-3, Green Bay.
Any advertised price.
Now that's something extra. It's up. We will meet or beat any offer from anywhere. You just got to know where to go.
I just don't put up with disrespectful behavior like that.
So have our savings. Here, now, December 2nd, buy 3 Nokia Nexon head cover walk-in tires and get one free instantly. All season, all weather, it's no time, it's all on sale. Shop now at PointestTire.com.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back and look at the old photos, on the, even just looking at the thumbnails and stuff, and, it's a choice. Again, it's discipline. And if you're willing to push yourself, and again, it's easy, to be lazy. It's easy to eat unhealthy. It's easy, to gain weight, but again, if you're willing to really make a change in your life, it's one thing to the next. It's like, taking out booze is one thing, but you got to do more than just booze. You got to cut out the fast food. You got to cut out the food that's not good for you, and exercising, got to do it, consistently, you got to be drinking more water, getting away from a lot of the food that tastes good, more vegetables, less portions. There's a lot that goes into it, but if you can learn to do it, and then you start making a pattern of it, then the weight will fall off, no matter what size you are or what weight you are, But again, it's just one of those things that you have to want to push to do it. And then, and then again, once you start seeing a little bit of results, then you'll continue to keep doing it. But, sometimes you're not going to see those initial physical results for a little while. You got to do it for a little bit for, you to see your face thinning out, or, your arms getting a little bit skinnier, or legs and whatnot. So. Like I said, I know Reflect has lost quite a bit of weight too, because he was overweight, he said too, and he started walking when I was doing my walking thing, and he's dropped 30 or 40 pounds. And I mean, I don't expect anyone to lose as much weight as me or more than me, but it's what I needed to get to like a healthy weight. And obviously having Paisley, I've had very good mental health. I haven't had really a bad day since I've lived here at this location. So getting away from toxic people, I've had Paisley and you guys every day. I feel that my life has turned around dramatically. So I mean, if I can give you some tips on how to be on point more with your mental health, it's not only having a dog, but also giving the most love and effort to the dog, and then having the love come back, and then obviously having you guys, and the exercising and the eating right has been the biggest change in my life.
And all these young guys are growing up together, and it's a good football team. It's a different mix of skills for those receivers. No Romeo.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, even if you only lose 5 or 10 pounds, I mean, it's a start, Little end around. Packers doing anything they want. Dolphins don't know how to tackle. First down, Packers. But if you do, exercise more and eat less portions, eat healthier, cut back on the fast food and the soda and all the shit that's bad for you, you'd be really surprised, how things can change for you mentally. You'll feel a lot better too. Like, fast food tastes good, but what does it do after you eat it? It makes you sluggish and slow and lazy, and then you don't want to do anything. And you'll notice once you get away from the bad food and then you have it, your body starts to reject it. And, and that's a good thing. Like for me, exercising isn't even like a job for me anymore. Like if I don't get outside and smell that fresh air and having Paisley with me, and guiding me and leading me, it's like it's helped both of us, get what we need to be in the right type of mental health, and for her to be happy, me to be happy, and and getting outside just to enjoy the outdoors in the wilderness, which I feel a lot of people don't have a connection with because everyone's on social media 24/7, and sometimes it's nice to be able to, take a break and go outside and smell the flowers and, enjoy the breeze and listen to the birds and, go on a walk. It's good for the mental health. Yeah. I mean, shit, I went all the way up to 280, 290, and now I'm, 180 to 185, so it's like I almost lost a whole person, and I haven't been this weight since high school, and I don't have any plans on going back to where I was ever again, so. Yeah, well, your situation a little bit different there in Australia, and as well as your, your personal situation with those types of things that other people may not have. So, but we can all try. That's really the message. Just trying. And if you try and you hold yourself accountable and you keep a pattern of things, you can make improvements in your life. So, yeah, and hopefully the migraine and the seizures will not be as bad, and you guys can get the most out of your life each day. 14-3 Packers. See if I can squeeze in a couple more here for Megan.
Benito Jones walked off under his own power.
Benito Jones, the injured Dolphin.
Like that's 335, 40 yards down the field. We love his effort.
Off a little bit.
First down and 10. Man in motion. Love. Check down. Josh Jacobs is there. 3-yard gain. First down and 10 on the Miami 47. Yeah, absolutely. And that's one thing, I just try to, set an example and show, how hard it is to, make things happen. If you have dreams and goals, like how consistent and how much hard work you have to put in, and if you also have goals with your weight or your diet, like how consistent you have to be, if you want to be able to get the results, It's like, putting the building blocks in place for success for not only myself, for you guys too. 14-3 Green Bay. I can't wait to see what kind of pie. Hopefully there's a couple pieces. Pecan, pumpkin, cherry, apple. Love. And complete. What happened to my hands? Reed with the drop. 4th down and 6 on the Miami 43. Packers trying to play bully ball, huh? They're up 14-3. They feel like they're going to win by 20 or more. Not even going to respect Miami and punt. They're just going to go for it. Unless they're just going to draw them off sides or try to. Fourth and 11. after that delay of game. Now they're going to have more room to punt. Yeah, he's like I said, out of all the friends that I've ever had, he's the one I feel that's the closest to me based off, loyalty and honesty and genuine, and would give the shirt off his back, and we have a lot of similar things that we like. Besides the NFL, our teams are different there, but we're Mariners, we're Ducks, we're Blazers. I worked with them, for a couple jobs, so we've been familiar with each other, and he's probably literally the only person that would do, this kind gesture for me. So definitely means a lot since it is my favorite holiday. And, I'm not going to get into a food coma, but just to have a little bit of dinner tonight and to share what everyone else, for the most part, has been able to eat all day, seconds and thirds and fourths. And, obviously leftovers tomorrow morning will be money. Holding, receiving team. And then we got an early game tomorrow with the Chiefs and the Raiders, as well as some college football. So I'm excited for that. I did see that. Yeah, we made a lot of changes with a lot of the coaches and the staff, but it looks pretty good for the most part. They're keeping Edgar on, but they're also hiring another guy to take the spot as the main hitting coach, but Edgar will still be involved. Memphis is up 17-10 on Tulane. We got Oregon State and Boise State at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Oklahoma State and Colorado at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Ole Miss and Mississippi State at 12:30. And then Georgia Tech at 4:30, which I'll be watching as well. Eberflus final seconds handled the right way. He needs to be fired after today. Terrible. Worst clock management I've seen since Justin Herbert with Lynn and Staley. It's like, if you got 30 seconds left in the game, you got to make the most of that time. You can't call one play in 30 seconds and think that's okay. And the play wasn't even good. It took 25 seconds to get the play from Caleb to the receivers. You had a timeout, you didn't call it. And then when he threw the pass, it wasn't even really that good of a pass. No time to go out of bounds or to spike it to be able to get the field goal to tie. Terrible use of clock. Flag on the play.
Smith was traded at the deadline for a second-round pick, and made the young team even younger.
I think they like their young guys. They have to have a lot of confidence. A little kind of like Preston Smith, get out of this building with an opportunity for younger guys, and they're chopping the bit. They could have gotten a couple of these guys from being offside, trying to get off the ball and start.
Tua. Nice catch by Mostert. First down, Dolphins. Let's go, Miami. Got to get a touchdown here before halftime. Go to a little Tyreek, a little Waddle, little Jonnu Smith, little Mostert, little Achane. Okay, dink, doink, doink, and dink. Okay. You get it to 14-10, even though the Packers have dominated their first half. Miami will have a chance to at least make it interesting. Not maybe win, but you never know. Plus, you haven't really seen Tua just launch it, 50 yards to Waddle or Tyreek. One-on-one, they're going to win that battle most of the time, but Green Bay's got a pretty good secondary. You can always get a flag, and try to, get a little bit of an edge, with the, players in the box and to throw it over the top, but holding on the offensive line again. Oh, for sure.
What's the most important thing to say at the Thanksgiving table, no matter how it tastes? Delicious. This may be the best Thanksgiving I've ever had.
Mashed potatoes, gravy, turkey, rolls, pie. Get in my belly. I can't wait. Tua. There we go. Jonnu Smith. I need Jonnu to get in the end zone. He's had some monster back-to-back weeks of 20-plus fantasy points. It's either him or Mark Andrews for me, even though my season's over. But hopefully Jonnu can get in the end zone in the second half. And if he doesn't, hopefully he can get me at least 10 points. But look at the last 2 weeks. 19 targets, 15 receptions, 188 yards, 3 tutties. He's a top 6 tight end. And again, I had Sam Laporta, dropped him because he did shitty. Obviously, Reflect picked him up, used him, got 2 tutties out of him today. And I got Andrews and Jonnu Smith. But, it's like I can only hang on to a guy for so long that's only putting up 5 points a game. And, oh, it's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. But have you noticed that? Like, you'll keep a guy on your fantasy team for like months, and then as soon as you drop them, then they start doing good things for that next person that picked him up. It seems like it always happens that way. Britt in the building. What's good? Love ya. Miss ya. Happy Thanksgiving. Did you have a good Thanksgiving with the fam? Colton didn't wander off and play around in the mud and not tell anybody again, did he? Obviously, with Thanksgiving food, I would hope not. But hopefully everything was good to go. Hopefully you had a good meal. I haven't had any food yet, but I am going to be hopefully getting some here within an hour or two. Oh, it's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. How did your drinking, painting session go? Did it go well? Dolphins with the punt. Fair caught by Green Bay. We got some pushing and shoving. Punches thrown. Little shove action. Nice. Good old mac and cheese. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be getting any mac and cheese, but I think that my buddy's sister makes a really good one, so I can't wait. And I don't know how many plates he's going to bring me. I mean, if it was like, if I could have my choice, it would be like 2 plates and then obviously a thing of pie and whatnot. But, maybe hopefully like 2 different kinds of pie, like 1 piece each. Hopefully I get 2 pieces. I'm hoping. I know there'll be like some kind of cupcake or cookie type stuff on the side too. This is like side stuff that I know that he brought that he has extras of. But turkey, mashed potatoes and gravy, mac and cheese, stuffing, rolls. I don't mind some of the other side stuff, like if there's like, casserole stuff or deviled eggs or cranberry sauce or the cranberry cube type circles, or I don't really, like I said, if it's Thanksgiving food, I don't discriminate. Like I'll do a little bit of everything, and obviously if I like something, I'll do a lot of it, like stuffing. But if it ends up being like one of those side dishes that's not my favorite, I'll still take a little bit just to go to Flavor Town. So oh, she is? I thought she was at the North Pole. I thought you sent her off. And she was at the North Pole though. So she had a detour from the North Pole, and she's moving an hour away, and I assume that you guys have lived close to each other pretty much your whole lives, I would assume, since you guys went to like school together, middle school, high school together and whatnot. So well, I'm glad you guys had fun. It's always fun to be able to get time with your best friends. So but hopefully, it could be worse. An hour isn't really too bad. If you're 5 minutes away, an hour is like really long. But it could be 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, right? And then it would make it harder to visit. So an hour, isn't too bad. You meet halfway. It's only 30 minutes each, and if you have to drive out, hour there, hour back. For a best friend, that's doable. Like that's probably like the perfect amount, where if it's like longer than an hour and a half, then it ends up being kind of like a thing, based off the distance and whatnot. You won't be able to go as often, but 1 hour ain't too bad. And you guys will still keep in touch, and she'll make her rounds from the North and South Pole since you sent her off, and wherever she's off to. Little check down. So did any of the drawings come out to be anything, or was it just getting tipsy? It's supposed to be painting and getting tipsy, but it might have been just getting tipsy and talking. Yeah. And that's good. You got one, I got one, you know, and again, it's like we're going to have other acquaintances and other friends that we're going to have. Like, I feel like a lot of people on this channel are very, very special to me. But as far as like face-to-face friends that live in my own state, oh, what a run. Broken tackle, first down, Packers. You know, but I feel it's like, you know, quality over quantity, definitely. I think you just get to a point where, you know, you get older and your peace of mind is worth something. And again, there's just a lot of drama with a lot of people, you know, and whether they do it on purpose or not. And I think once you realize 2-minute warning, 14-3 Packers, it's like I only have so much of my like peace of mind that I'm willing to give up. And like I said, once you have been like a party person and you've had a lot of friends or people that you thought were your friends, and then you start to realize what's like really important, you know, and obviously taking care of Paisley, you know, taking care of myself and you guys on this channel. And again, just, you know, having these special bonds and relationships are important, but definitely as you get older, it is more about the quality of the relationship rather than having a lot of people. Oh, what brand of rum did you guys use? I'm not really a big drinker either, but the thing is that if I'm with the right person, like someone that like, you know, that is my bro, or like, you know, we have that, you know, that history and stuff, and maybe I haven't seen him in a bit, depending on how close I am. Yeah, I will be willing, you know, to, you know, do some keg stands, or, you know, slam a couple beers, or, you know, have a couple mixed drinks and whatnot. I mean, I'm not going to get blacked out or anything like that, but, you know, I definitely will have maybe a little bit more than I should if I'm with, you know, certain people. But again, it's like, usually I don't really have that really much of a need to drink really anymore. But it's like when me and my buddy Justin will go to like the arcade and they serve drinks there, you know, so we can just get a couple like mixed drinks while we play video games, you know, no harm, no foul, you know. Yeah, but I'm not really big drinker. But I'll say this, one thing that I do miss is a Blue Moon with a fresh orange. Not very many bars here in Oregon offer Blue Moon on tap, and I swear Blue Moon on tap with an orange peel that's fresh, it hits differently. You have one or two of those, and I'm telling you, you're at Flavor Town, you got a little bit of a buzz, you know, and it's fantastic. And it's like not like a buzz where you feel like out of control, you know, or you feel like you're gonna have a hangover, like if you do tequila or something, you know. Like it's like the perfect, you know, a perfect buzz, but it's like the taste is amazing. Yeah, but that's good though, you know, because again, you want to be a good mom, you know, and that's number one. You know, party people are going to be party people. You know, I still have friends that are 20, 30, 40 years old, you know, and I got people that are still playing beer pong literally like almost every day, or if not every day, every other day, or a few days a week, always partying on Friday and Saturday, even sometimes during the week on like a Wednesday. It's like, you know, it doesn't matter if you're 20, 30, 40, like it seems like, you know, the beer pong and, you know, and just having that activity available at whatever house that these people are partying at. It's like, you know, I got Paisley and I got things I got to do and I got dreams I'm trying to accomplish. I'm sorry, I can't, you know, play beer pong with you 4 times a week, you know, and, you know, some people understand and some people don't, but, you know, sometimes you got things that are more important like Colton, and that's, you know, that's the right thing to do. So. Shotgun set, first down and 15. Love going deep, got a man wide open. Christian Watson, first down, Packers. Flag on the play. Defensive pass interference declined. That's good. Sounds like my buddy Justin too. Like, I also feel like you can, if you have a friend that you can road trip with, compared to like, you can have a lot of friends that, that live near you, or that, you've gone drinking together, or, restaurants or clubbing or whatever. But I really think the difference between those people and then the person that, is one of your close people is that, that you can like share a hotel room and like road trip, and there's never going to be any issues. There's never going to be drama. No one's getting arrested. You're going to respect each other, look out for each other, have a good time, and just, enjoy each other's company. And I don't have too many people that live here in Oregon that I could say that would be the case. And I think that's kind of the deciding factor, is like, can you road trip with this person with no issues? And if you can, then that you're a little bit closer with that person. So. Yeah. Ooh. Whose one is the tree with the blue background? Is that yours? Or is the other one across? That looks like with is it birds in a tree that you got going on the other one? Like in the snow, birds in the snow on a branch? I like both of them. Yep. And then you can have music that you can listen to, and the conversations are good, and again, I'm more of hip hop, and my, best friend is more like alternative rock, but we still have like things in common that we enjoy, like Nirvana, Kurt Cobain, Green Day, Red Hot Chili Peppers. So I don't have to, be like, oh, let's listen to rap. Like I don't need to push that on to, him if I know that that's not really his thing. We can just like kind of, find a common ground and listen to something. And I like doing that. It's nice to be able to have bonds like that and appreciate, like Ozzy, Black Sabbath, Green Day, Nirvana, Cobain, things like that. So, and a lot of times you make memories like that where you can, have more memories on the car ride up or back rather than at the actual event or whatever's going on. Yours is the tree. It's good. I think both of yours look good. I think the tree looks slightly better. Touchdown, Packers, pouring it on Reed with another tutty. Both look good, but I like yours a little bit more. Yeah. And it's also like one of those things where it's like you don't make each other feel guilty, for not talking or hanging out. Because those type of friendships end really quick. When you get one person that always wants to like hang out and if you don't, then, they give you a guilt trip. There should never be a guilt trip, especially when you get older, kids, jobs, other things that are going on in life. It's life. You just need to be able to appreciate each other. And then when the times come to hang out, it's like nothing ever was missed. Even though maybe months have passed or even like, 6 months or a year. That's how good friendships are supposed to be. And for a lot of those people that used to give me, those guilt trips, I don't hang out with those people anymore or talk to them. So, but a lot of times it's not even for, you get people that like to use people too, like you become convenient. Like if you're the one always buying beer or, providing the ride or whatnot. I think a lot of those people that give the guilt trips, they're wanting something, and then when they can't get it from you, then they get all mad,
Sure. Biggie, check your status. Just click. Super easy. You're doing great, everyone.
It's a good friendship to have.
I'm cramping.
For savings and service, get more.
Nah, but Like me and Justin's birthday is around the same time, so we usually try to road trip to Seattle, do like a Mariner game. But since I have Paisley now, it makes it a little bit more difficult because she's so attached and I'm so attached to her and whatnot. So, but yeah, good friends are hard to come by. That's for damn sure. 21-3 Packers, and this game is kind of going the way that I thought it would, but I figured the Dolphins would have at least a touchdown by now and have at least 10-13, but hard place to play. If the game was in Miami, then maybe the score would be a little bit closer. Packers would probably still have the lead, but maybe it would be a little bit more competitive if the game was in Miami in warmer weather. Yeah, I was about to say. Yes, sir, man. Like I said, once you end up creating the bond with me here, again, it's, as long as people have chat etiquette and are respectful and, just have common sense, we'll be fine. But once you start getting people that, don't have the awareness or don't have common sense or rude or, don't have the chat etiquette, then things are, obviously going to be a little bit different. But there's, quite a few people that we have good bonds here. And I think we know what we expect from each other. So 21-3 Packers. But I do like the snow, the tree, and then your background is very bright and colorful. I like it.
Hi, honey. 21-3. The last game we did together was the Dolphins game. Yes. It's balmy compared to that, right? That was the wild card game. It's 40 degrees warmer. It's summer.
All right, Paisley's in here. Yeah, Reed going off, just like Keenan Allen did for you. All right, I got Paisley in here now. We're at 25, 75 to go. 21-3 Green Bay. And I haven't got a message from my buddy yet, but I imagine he's eating right now. So can't wait to be able to get my share. Even if it's just a plate and a couple pieces of pie, I'm going to definitely be eating with a smile. And then depending on how much I get, I might save some for tomorrow morning. That way I can have some tonight and tomorrow. But we'll see how big the plate is. It might only be enough for just dinner tonight. 21-3 Packers. Tua with the scramble. 9-yard gain there by Tua. Jonnu Smith, baby. First down, Dolphins. Let's go. Keep giving it to Jonnu Smith. Let's go. Well, Reed is the number one, Will. He might have started off as a 3 with Watson, Dobbs, and Reed, but Reed is the one. I mean, if you're looking at fantasy numbers and looking at stats, like he's the guy that gets in the end zone who's Love's favorite. And then Watson and Dobbs have, fallen way back in the pecking order. Hell, even Kraft sometimes steals looks, from Watson and Dobbs and whatnot. So, I mean, Green Bay's always going to have athletic running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends, but yeah, Reed is definitely not the 3. He's the 1. Shotgun set. Over Tyreek's head. Incomplete. That's a good number. Good girl. Lay down. Good girl. Oh, you're good, man. We all are gonna, cover everything here, NFL wise. It's like I try to cover every team as if they were my own. That way I can help people out with fantasy or just whatever, not necessarily just betting purposes. Tua. Achan almost broke the tackle. 3rd down 5 on the Green Bay 38. Get that ball to Jonnu Smith, baby. I mean, they're still bad, but I imagine your mom's happy at least then, right? That they beat the Giants. But one thing is clear, Drew Lock, if he was the starter from the very beginning of the year, how many more wins would the Giants have? They're a shit team, but Drew Lock gives them a better chance to win than, maybe Daniel Jones, who's no longer on the team and now, Minnesota's practice squad and whatnot, or Tommy DeVito. I think Drew Lock is better than Tommy DeVito. I mean, if you had Locke start from the very beginning of the year, maybe you have 1 or 2 more wins. I think that's a fair statement. I mean, the Giants are terrible, but, he had that long, 50-yard rushing touchdown. I'm not saying that he would do that every game, but, oh, big hit. Malik Washington went down. McDuff and Walker slammed the shit out of him. But based off, even though they lost off that performance, I would have Locke start the rest of the year for the Giants. Unless you're trying to lose every game, and then I would go with DeVito. But if for a draft pick, if you're trying to tank and not say that you're tanking, then you go DeVito. But if you're actually trying to win games, then I would go with Drew Lock for the Giants, and it would make them a little funner to watch, even though they are a dumpster fire. I feel bad for Malik Neighbors, and some other individuals on that team. Tua? Too high. Achan. Should have went to Jonnu Smith, Tua. When I saw him take off, I was like, they better give him that touchdown. And then his foot hit the pylon, and then they reviewed it. But I was like, you have to give it to him. And you don't see too many quarterbacks that can run for 50-yard touchdowns. And Drew Lock has actually got some pretty good speed, for his size at quarterback. Seems like he's more of a warrior. Again, he knows that he's going to be a backup, and he's been able to be a starter here and there. And, he's got a lot of adversity, and it's kind of like next man up approach. But based on what I saw, hell, if they are actually trying to be competitive, he earned the job the rest of the year over DeVito, in my opinion, based off today's game. Shotgun set for Love. Dolphins are terrible at defense. But you got to think that Dallas beat Washington, who looked like they were going to be a playoff team and still may be. They're on a 3-game skid. And then to beat the Giants, the way that the Cowboys have been playing this year, I don't think it really would have shocked us if they would have lost both of those games. It's not like, even if Dak was playing, it's like they haven't been good. And so at least the Cowboy fans know that they're not going to the playoffs, but they can still beat up on some of the teams in the division and even get lucky and beat a team that's, not as, on the same level as them as like Washington. And, I imagine the Commandos fucking hated losing to Cowboys, going on that 3-game skid, because you started off 7-2 and Jaden Daniels looked like he was going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Then he lost 3 games in a row. They didn't look good. Jaden didn't look very good. Bo Nix looked much better. And now Bo is the front runner to win Rookie of the Year. Stats are much better than Jaden. So, but still they're in a good position if they can kind of flatline, recover, not freak out, and they should still be able to make a wild card behind Philly. You know.
And I said on the air last year, probably 509, no stoplights.
Yeah, agreed. 15 seconds left before halftime here. 21-3 Packers. We need the Dolphins to get to at least 10, you know, but again, when they get down, which is often, they go away from the run, right? And if you go away from Achane, you're fucked. And if you notice, like Tyreek and Waddle they don't have the same type of dominant factor as they did in years past. Offensive line isn't very good. The play calling isn't very good. Tyreek and Waddle, for a good chunk of the year, are almost unusable, you know? And it shows you it's better to have a great offensive line and a defense instead of having a quarterback, running back, wide receivers, and tight ends. Because if your offensive line isn't blocking, you're not getting the ball to those guys. And again, if I'm the Dolphins, you know, you got to really retool that O-line and that defense. Otherwise, this is just going to be a team that, you know, once in a while can put up big numbers, but for the most part is going to be a disappointment. Because they got a quarterback. They got Tua. They got Achane. They got Waddle and Tyreek. Hell, they got Jonnu Smith. But again, if you don't got an offensive line, you're never going to be able to, you know, have time to take those deep shots like we saw in previous years where Tyreek and Waddle were getting 50-yard bombs like daily. 3 seconds left.
Yeah, you talk about reverse. It's 2-minute situation. Defense comes up more than any situation in football. You can't work out.
Messaging my buddy how the food is. Imagine it's good. He's probably in food coma. All right, no worries. Thank you for your support. Appreciate you. I'll be streaming tomorrow at noon. I don't know if that'll be too early for you for the Raiders and Chiefs, but if you end up stopping in, I will be streaming. If not, then maybe I'll see you on Sunday night for the Bills and the Niners. Go Bills. But either way, have a great rest of your day. Thank you for your support. Talk soon. Kick us up. And good. What a shellacking. 24-3 Packers.
Because our operations are clean, we got a lot of things to clean up with that.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
6 penalties, 1 turnover for the Dolphins. Work to do. Teams went 3 in a row. They really need it. Coming up, the story of 3 Bay and Talent Goal. The visitors on the Toyota. We come back to Winbo after these messages.
All right, halftime. I'm going to go grab my water here real quick. If you guys need to hit the restroom or grab some snacks, please do. And then obviously I'll be back here in about a minute or two. And then we can throw up some photos or anything that we want to be able to look at in between halftime and then go from there. Anyone that wants to see anything, let me know. I got you. And we're at, 75 to go to hit the goal. We need 7 more likes to get to 20. Let's get there, baby. Happy Thanksgiving.
One word. Got reeling in fish. Eating fish. Fish in the sea. Movie.
Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. At U.S. Bank, we think the best
relationship should feel easy.
All right, got you.
Serious. You should feel easy. Setting a trip to positivity can long-term happiness for that's the power of us. What's Danny doing?
Say so much. Not only home
I've got a super old Brett Favre, Tom Brady, mini McFarlane's, like when they first came out in the early 2000s, like when they first came out. I got that in my room here. Vintage piece. Too bad a lot of these NFL players end up having issues like after football, like stealing money or scamming, whatever, or, getting in trouble with the law, just unfortunate. It's like you wouldn't think, of course he had the problem with the painkillers and whatnot, but, stealing money and all that other stuff that he got himself into. Come on, Brett, be better, my guy.
Dolphins fullback Alec Eagle, it's not just the story of where he's from, it's also who helped get him to where he is now. The key about football ain't about how good you throw, how good you catch, how fast you are. It's about how good of a teammate you are.
Football was always a huge part of the culture.
Let's make some noise.
It's really the glue of the community.
There's a camp on the north side of Green Bay where each summer kids learn about football and being.
People,
It's run by Alec Eagle, who once was just like that.
Here it is. Oh.
I think it's important to always go home and give back an ounce of what that community gave to me.
You kidding me?
we were all Big Ten fans. His first game, he was probably 6 years old. Growing up, he knew every player.
90% of my childhood was pretty average, but that last 10% was always a little different for me.
29 years ago, Pat and Chris Ingold were a young couple unable to have children when they met a young pregnant woman whose baby they'd adopted. Chris was in the delivery room.
The nurse is holding Alec, and she kind of was like, I don't know, who do I give him to? And Alec's birth mother said, give him to his mom. So I got to hold him first.
The opportunity that was given to us to be a dad, to be a mom, it was really special.
Alec was around 6 when he began questioning what being adopted really meant.
Like, did I mess up? Was I the problem? Was I not good enough? A child?
I know Jordan is the best basketball player in the world.
Fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear of not being accepted. Like, that walks with you.
In his mind, adoption meant someone didn't want him, which is the exact opposite of what adoption actually is. How you doing, Alec?
I was afraid of sharing those emotions because I didn't want to upset my parents. So I would keep that all inside. I deal with it. Definitely wore down on me.
I wish somehow, some way we could have communicated better, because we couldn't have loved him anymore.
Alec now has a family of his own.
Yeah, that was a memorable season. The Bounty Gate. Yeah.
It's gonna be a great dad, whatever that day comes. I mean, families, everything's gonna. He's just one of those type of
people that just pours into others.
The feelings Alec had years ago are still there, but he moves forward by giving back. A few weeks ago, he went to see some kids in a foster home. He often visits.
It's about connecting to.
Nice. I just messaged my buddy, and he said that 2 people didn't show up, so I'm going to get more than normal.
Like I can truly impact these kids that are going through foster care that have the same thoughts.
On this Thanksgiving, Alec is ready to be thankful. The parents who've always been the opportunities he has to make a difference.
Heck yeah. Shit, I might get 2 plates or 3 plates now since a couple of the relatives didn't show up. Heck yeah. We got cookies being made here in the household right now too. So little chocolate chip cookies with some milk later on. Sounds like there's going to be some good quality desserts. And then I'll have a little bit of turkey and a little bit of the fixins. Oh, I'm excited. My buddy's still going to be probably like an hour away. So I will probably have to step out in the 4th quarter or right when the game, is getting close to ending or slightly before. But yeah. It's funny that you say that too. I got a couple Brett Favre Falcons rookie cards in my little baseball card collection. I have like a little box of rookie cards of just, basketball, baseball, football, hockey. And it's just a small little box because I used to buy just singles of rookies instead of packs or boxes. But I ended up getting those in a pack, both of them a long time ago, and most of Brett Favre rookies aren't really worth too much nowadays, but still, even if you get a card, that's worth like $10, it's still cool, to have. So yeah, the food coma is gonna, and again, that's cool that a couple people didn't end up showing up. So I'm gonna end up getting a little bit more. And yeah, I don't know if the relatives are gonna think, dang, Justin, you're eating a lot for the leftovers, but I imagine he'll take some home for himself. And sounds like I'm gonna get at least 2 plates and some pie and whatnot. So I'm stoked. And then I got to decide what I want to give him in return as like a gift. I got to give him something like Mariners or Blazers. And I've already given him a lot of, Julio autograph memorabilia, Julio rookie cards, and Blazer memorabilia. So Reflect in the building. What's good? Happy Thanksgiving. Good to see you. Wish this game was a little bit closer, like the first 2 games of the day. Even Chicago's bad coaching, at the end of the game, they still were able to catch up 23-20, and Dallas 27-20 over the Giants. Drew Lock actually looked halfway decent. But this one is definitely out of hand, and the Dolphins need, more than just an offensive line or a defense. It's like you got weapons, but they can't get them the ball. They don't have enough time. Happy Tucky Day. I'm hoping that you had a good Thanksgiving. $3 holla. Appreciate you. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. We're at 28. Appreciate you. Blowout right now, but my buddy's going to be leaving pretty soon. I'll have some Thanksgiving food finally to eat here shortly. Woke up super, super early. Went on a long, long walk, and then did another one. And again, I'll end up doing another long walk here tonight. And I'm ready to feast. And then we'll be live tomorrow for the Raiders and the Chiefs, and that'll be at noon tomorrow. But I will be up early because we got college football on as early as 9 a.m. Oregon State, Boise State, and a few other matchups. So I'll be up early, and we'll be able to hang out tomorrow. And Saturday, we got wrestling and the Ducks and the Huskies, which will be fun. We'll be just doing the Ducks and Huskies, and the wrestling starts about an hour before the game. So I'll end up watching both. And then Sunday night, we got a pretty good one with the Bills and the Niners. And then Monday night will be Browns and the Broncos with Bo Nix. So I'm looking forward to the next 4 or 5 days. And I know a lot of people have the next 4 or 5 days off. So what a better way to be able to hang out with the NWSF, watch some football and some sports, and have a good time. So nice. Good to hear. What was the best thing that you ate? Yeah, of course. I had to send that to you and for Justin when it came up on my timeline. So yeah, Megan was in here a little bit earlier, but ended up just leaving. We'll throw up some Macklemore here for Reflect. And hopefully the Dolphins can get at least the 17 before this game ends. You the man. Glad Laporta got 2 tutties for you. I know CeeDee Lamb went out with the injury, so that wasn't ideal, but at least you ended up getting the tutties out of Laporta to even it out. And, you have been able to have a player shit the bed and still win. So it hasn't really hurt you this year if you got 1 or 2 guys that end up underwhelming. So I think you'll be just fine. The other guys will make up for CD's injury and lack of points. So, and Laporta getting 2 was obviously a cherry on top. So, and I already knew Laporta would, do good for you, because that's how it works, right? They end up doing shitty, and then someone releases them, and then what happens? A couple weeks later, then they actually start going to the player and putting up points. So, but a nice, 2 tight ends for you to rotate with, to go from Njoku or Laporta. That's a nice luxury. But it seemed like almost everybody, was doing pretty well today as far as fantasy-wise, with all the things considered. Some of us that have been eliminated are still trying to put up some points with our players and whatnot. So, all right, third quarter about to begin. Cool Kid in the building. What's good, Cool Kid? Yeah, and then especially when the Dallas defender tipped it to himself for a touchdown, and then you ended up getting to 15, 16 points. I was like, oh, yeah, this is going well. So Dallas D made up for it, too, for the lack of CD and that injury. But that's just, intelligent move by you. You just try to go with, the defense that has the best matchup, and obviously the Steelers, you don't trust it against the Bengals, and Dallas did good the week before. Might as well go against a new quarterback, and that's just being smart and intelligent. Some people would be afraid to make that move, but not you, and it worked out in your favor. Yeah. And it'll come down to Double E or Matt for that last spot. The other 3 individuals are already in. So, Shep is in, Zini's in, Reflect is in, and then it's either going to be Elliott or Matt for the last spot. And if Matt would have just tried from the very beginning and not kind of quit a couple games throughout the year, he would have gotten 4th place, just easily, over Elliott if he just would have tried the whole way through. But even with that being said, he might still get in there with some of his superstar players like Gibbs that he has on the roster. Tyreek almost bobbled that one away. But it shows you, no matter how things are going, in the middle of the season, even if you, get beat up a couple times, if you just try, right, you never know how things will end up with some of the other teams. Like, me, I'm normally in the top 3, but this year I'm in the bottom 3, and I've had the most points scored against me out of anybody in the league, and that's never happened before. So if you can take advantage, things like that with someone like me, you never know. There's going to be some, spots open, and it'll be interesting to see what happens between E and Matt, who ends up getting that last spot. Tyreek with the short game. I mean, it's been a real wonky, weird year, and who knows what's going to happen. But I'll tell you what, with the playoff teams that get there, anything could happen. I mean, we obviously know who the strongest teams are, but again, just like Reflect, if you have bad matchups in the playoffs, and sometimes you can't recover from that, especially if we're not doing best of 2 weeks. It's best of 1 week, and anyone could end up having an underwhelming 125-point week, and which normally would end up winning you a week more times than not. But you score 125 in the playoffs, it might not be enough. It's like you got to be shooting for 130 to 200 like every week in the playoffs. Otherwise, if you get like a 128 or a 129 or a 125, you might be able to skate by in the regular season with that number, but might not be enough for a playoff game. Yeah, well, he's got a 2-game lead, so he needs to win to get that extra lead because Matt's behind 2 games. So essentially, Matt needs to win both games. E needs to lose both games, and then it comes down to point total, who scored the most points. And I think Matt's got more points on the year than E, so at least up to this point. So E needs to get it into gear, but we'll see. 3rd down and long. Tua going deep. Odell Beckham Jr. incomplete. Yeah, but at least you have, options, that if CD is not an option, and let's say he's hurt, you can always go 2 wide receivers and 3 running backs, and you can figure it out. You still got a good enough team where you can reconfigure. You can either go 3 wide receivers or you can go 3 running backs, and you can always throw in Thomas as your starting wide receiver with Nico, put CD to the bench, and then obviously you bench Montgomery because of the injury, but you have seen that you can still put him in the lineup, Tracy even as well, but you would definitely be going David Montgomery, and then that's what you normally do, go Montgomery, Williams, and Mixon, and you only use 2 wide receivers. So if Lamb is the odd man out, at least you got Nico and you still got Thomas, and with Nico and Thomas, they can still put up the same kind of points as CD or Rashee Rice, maybe slightly lower, a couple points out of Thomas, but Thomas has proven he can put up 15, 20, 25 points. So, I think, as long as you have 2 guys that are capable, you can go with that 3 running back system. And it's like pretty much if you got Detroit Lion players like I had last year, you play them and they're going to end up helping you win a league or getting close to winning a league. So we'll see how it all plays out. But I mean, especially when you got, Kyron, Mixon, Montgomery, that's the best 3, obviously we've seen with Saquon, with Shep, and you see what he's got on that end too. But Saquon, Kenneth Walker, and he's got Robinson. It's going to be very interesting. But I'll be rooting for you, Reflect, to win it all. Go back to back. And again, I want people that work hard to be rewarded. And not saying that, Shep and Zini and Matt and Elliott didn't work hard this year, but I feel that, based on the strategy of like kickers and defense, picking guys up throughout the year, is a big reason why you've only lost 1 game. Because if you were a little bit lazy on the wire, you probably would have, 3 losses or 4 losses and it would be much closer. But you made those good strategic moves week in and week out. And I can definitely get behind, an individual that plays that way, because that's kind of how I play. And I want to make sure the person that's working the hardest wins the league. So, I'm having a rough year this year, man. Normally I'm in the top 3. I'm 3-9. This is the first time that I've had a losing record and a bad record for that. And I've had the most points scored against me. So like Reflect is 11-1. He scored 1,615 points. He's only given up 1,282. So essentially, he's outscored everyone by 400 points. And then here's me, 1,376 scored, but I've given up 1,558. So I've had almost 200 points more scored on me, and that's by far the most in the league. Second to me is Megan with 1526, and she's in the bottom 3 with me. And then Matt is number 3 with most scored at 1510, but he's in the running for the playoffs. So yeah, but again, it's just frustrating to work so hard. But again, it shows you, even if you work like me and you work like a madman and you make 169 moves, if I didn't make all those moves, I probably would only have like 1 win. So, but again, if you draft incorrectly or have injuries to your quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, there's nothing that you're going to be able to do to come back. And Laporta fucked me, AR fucked me, Cooper Kupp and McCaffrey fucked me, and there's nothing that you can do. There was, no combination of players that I could, pick up on the wire to manufacture the same kind of points that McCaffrey, Kupp, a good quarterback like Burrow that I should have drafted over AR, and maybe should have drafted someone other than Laporta, but I had no idea that they were not going to give the ball to Laporta this year. If I would have known that, I wouldn't have drafted him. I would have went Brock Bowers as a rookie. But, I guess that's what makes football interesting. You never know what you're going to get, right? Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And I guess you're not going to know what you're going to get in fantasy either. It's been a very odd year, but again, it's not going to be my year every year. And we'll see if Reflect wins it all. Going long, going deep. Nice catch. Because essentially, Shep has won, and Zini has won, and Reflect has won. So you got 3 people that have essentially won our league before, all there in the championship playoff round, and then you got 1 individual that is trying to make it for the first time. I mean, honestly, if I didn't have the most points scored against me, I probably still wouldn't be in the playoffs, but I would have like 3 more wins, where I would be like kind of in the middle, maybe like where Captain Oreo was at record-wise. I wouldn't be sitting at such shitty record. I wouldn't be 3-9. Maybe I would be, 5-7 or 6-6, like, maybe something like that. But I guess when it rains, it pours, huh? But if the Oregon Ducks, end up winning it all, then it'll be worth it. So, V-Man in the building. What's good? Jets in the building. What's good, V-Man? But it's like almost the sports gods were punishing me for drafting poorly and having bad luck with injuries on top of having the most points scored to force me to retire. But if the Ducks can win it all, just like the Mariners, then no matter what I'm doing in fantasy, it doesn't matter. Of course, I would rather win the championship in fantasy and have my teams win a championship. But if the Ducks win it all will be forgiven in this fantasy year, even though it's caused me a lot of pain, a lot of frustration. So Ducks, then Mariners, baby. Okay, get some rest, and I will be live tomorrow, and I love that you're here almost daily now. We love your vibes. We love your energy. It's all about your Falcons, and I can't wait to see what happens, man. Get some rest, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bright and early. I'm going to be waking up at like 7 a.m., taking Paisley on a walk, and then watching some college football at 9 a.m., Boise State, Oregon State, Genty, baby. And then we'll be doing the Raiders and Chiefs. Oh, big tackle by the Dolphins. Yes. Much love, bro. So my buddy Justin said they went around the neighborhood looking for the dog, his sister's dog. And then after looking for it for like a half hour, they realized that it was in the guest room sleeping. Thanksgiving adventures for my buddy Justin. Love? Wow, one-handed grab. Oh, my. Reed is something else. He is the number one receiver on the Packers, and it shows. Christian Watson flashed. Romeo Doubs has flashed, but Reed gives you something a little bit more. He's almost like a Tyreek Hill for the Packers, except that he actually gets the ball and he's actually making plays. He gets the opportunities. He's a little undersized, but he's got great hands. He's a great route runner. He just kind of came out of nowhere, and he is the best receiver on Green Bay by far. Yeah, she got some good points out of Keenan Allen today also. So, even though some of us are at the bottom and, we're eliminated and we're not good, but at least we can, root for our players that we potentially started to at least score some points for us, Not everyone is lucky enough to be in the position of the 4 or 5 that are in the running for the playoffs, but I don't know if anyone anticipated a 27-3 game here, but the Dolphins look terrible. I thought this one could have some potential of the Green Bay Packers winning, but the Dolphins at least putting up 17-20. But at this rate, they might not even get to 13. But I'm hoping Jonnu Smith can get in the end zone for their garbage touchdown so I can get some fantasy points. Otherwise, I could have played Mark Andrews and maybe got more points, but, Hybrid in the building. Ravens flock in the building. What's good? Absolutely, man. It reminded me of Justin Herbert. It reminded me of having, Anthony Lynn and Staley in that same situation with like 30 seconds to a minute and them only getting one playoff in 30 seconds. They had a timeout. They didn't call it. It took Caleb like 20 seconds to get the play relayed to the players. And then when he threw the ball, it wasn't even a good throw. And then the game was over. They could have gotten a field goal to tie. And then they had momentum where they, if they were able to get 2 plays off, maybe they win. With Caleb with a throw to the sideline and then another to the end zone, and maybe they win the game. But again, it shows you if you have a shitty owner, a shitty GM, a shitty head coach, Eberflus, you have shitty coordinators when they had Waldron, you're not going to get the most out of your players, and that's exactly what we saw. And that was probably the biggest takeaway of Thanksgiving, that the Chicago Bears do not have the proper coaching staff. And then Eberflus is an idiot in the media, says that went exactly the way that we wanted. Yeah, right. What a dummy. They should fire him tomorrow. Congratulations with the 8-4 record. And another reason why I think the record that is a little bit lower for me is that we have more quality people that know how to play. Anyone can end up being 8-4, 9-3, 10-2, 11-1 if you're playing with a bunch of people that suck and don't know what they're doing, or they don't attack the wire, or they don't try. You can definitely join a league with people that aren't good and actually have a good record. But when you're in a league that has a lot of good players, it's much harder to climb it to the top of the standings. That is facts. I think everyone has been in a league like that where you're in the league and there's not very many good people that know how to play properly. So easier to dominate when people don't know what they're doing. You got Drake London, AJ Puka, Kittle, Aaron Jones, Tua. Tua in the starting lineup, though. Who's your backup quarterback? You got to have someone better than Tua. My team is pretty fucking good. It's just that I haven't been able to have my team, healthy at the same time. But it's like, at this point in the season, it's like I like what my roster looks like. It's not like I think my roster stinks. I mean, I got Mahomes, Hott, McCaffrey, Pollard, Devontae, Evans, Jonnu Smith, Kupp, Broncos D, Bates at kicker, Mark Andrews, James Conner, Kareem Hunt, Juwan Jennings, Khalil Shakir, MVS on the Saints, who's a deep threat, and Bucks D for next week. So it's like I don't have a shitty team or a shitty bench. I actually have one of the better teams roster-wise, but it hasn't equated to wins because I'm getting everyone's best effort. And some of the players have shit the bed. So, yeah, inexperienced by the rookie, for sure. Oh, Bo Nix should be your starter, man. Bo Nix over Tua all day and all night, man. Tua hasn't really been very good this year, but Bo Nix has. And Bo Nix is a better rusher. So I would be going with Bo as your starter, man. Even against the Cleveland Browns, Bo will put up more numbers than Tua today if you started Tua today against the Packers. Tua's not good in cold weather and on the road, like track record. Nice. Mostert with the stiff arm.
It was 26. Stands up.
Yeah, but essentially it shows you, if you don't have a top 5 quarterback, you're not going to make the playoffs. Got to have a top 5 quarterback. Tight end position has been, very hit or miss, but the tight ends have been scoring a little bit more within the last month now. But the first 2 months of the season where we really needed those tight end points, they weren't really there for a lot of us. And then injuries were brutal in the first 2.5 months. Like, we had more superstars go down in a 2.5 month period than I've ever seen. And if you had those players that were hurt, you got devastated by those injuries like I did with McCaffrey and Cooper Kupp. Can't win if you don't got your 2 best players out of 9 not playing. There we go, Jonnu. Oh, and he lost the football. Fuck. Come on, Jonnu. Yeah. Even though my record is bad, I can still give good advice. It's just I've had bad luck this year, and you just have to be able to look at the standings and look at how the player has been playing as of late, and Nix is going to get rookie of the year offensively. So, I would be, it's all going to be based off matchups. And if the Dolphins got a good matchup against a shitty defense, then definitely go Tua. But, I definitely would be more trustworthy of Bo Nix. Him and Cortland Sutton have gained a good connection. And Denver looks like they're going to make the playoffs as a wild card possibly. And, he's got a good, rushing threat with his legs too. He's really started to come into his own. But if you can get a couple garbage time touchdowns out of Tua, you might be able to save yourself here. If he can get you to like 16 to 20, then you might be saved. Jonnu Smith got me to 10.6, so that's good, but it'd be great if I can get him into the 20s again for the 3rd week in a row. Garbage touchdown to Jonnu Smith sounds delicious. Yeah, I'm trying to go for wins, and I got Megan next week, but all my players are in red. So, I have a better chance of beating Shep this week than beating Megan next week. So, but we'll see how it goes. And I know Elliott doesn't have Lamar next week, and he plays Chief will Chief, but then he doesn't have Jordan Love either. But he's got Jaden Daniels as the backup. Chief will Chief does. So, yeah, Elliott is going to have a hard time winning next week, and he's got Aaron Rodgers as his backup. So, yeah, well, after I let go of Laporta and you picked him up, I knew you would, that I had to decide, I need Mark Andrews and I need a backup just in case. And Andrews and Jonnu Smith have been doing well, and Laporta has been doing well since you picked him up. So I'm happy. It worked out good for both of us. Gave you some depth for your championship run with Njoku, right? And I got Andrews and Jonnu Smith, and Jonnu is like top 5, top 6 now. So, I'm okay, Yeah, Double E better win this week, or he might have a hard time getting in. Yeah, and Bates, obviously, I picked him up, a few weeks back because he was the number 1 kicker, as the Denver has been number 2 defense. And, normally I don't just keep a defense on my roster, even though there was a couple, kind of off bad matchups for Denver. But, typically when it's this late in the year, if there's a top 5 D, I'm going to usually hang on to him. Jonnu Smith, baby. Jonnu Smith is the best option on offense, even though they have Waddle and Tyreek, and that's why I picked him up, because the target share is there, baby. He's got good hands. He is a good route runner. He's got good body presence, right? He's hard to tackle and bring down, and he's been a good red zone threat, and he's a good threat from the 20 to the 20, and Tua trusts him, just like Goff trusts Laporta now. But it stunk because I ended up putting up almost 22 points out of Jonnu Smith last week, right? And I hit almost 130, and I still lost by 20 to Chief will Chief. So, I just wasn't anticipating James Conner and Christian McCaffrey to both shit the bed, you know, and if I would have gotten 10 more points out of each running back, I would have been exactly where I needed to be to beat Chief will Chief, but just hasn't been my year. So, I mean, regardless if I put up a good day, it still hasn't been enough, which stinks. You know, I want to be rewarded, you know, on a good fantasy matchup and with all the good players that I have, but you know, maybe it's the fantasy gods wanting to teach me a lesson. I have nothing else to prove, and I can root for success with others. And maybe if the Ducks win it all, it'll make up for everything. I know I'll be much happier. Yeah, he's got Zini next week. Tough matchup. And then he's got you this week. So, Achan, touchdown, Dolphins. There you go. Cool kid getting some points with Tua now. And you're lucky that wasn't a handoff to Achan, that was a pass. So that definitely helps. And Jonnu Smith is automatic, so you're going to get some more points there with him too. So there you go, cool kid. Yeah, the one miss sucked, but I mean, he's been pretty, and it's mostly touchdowns. 1 or 2 field goals, but if I'm getting 10 to 15 points out of Bates, who cares if it ends up being like 7 touchdowns for 7 points and then like 1 field goal and then I get to 12 or 11, you know, I'm okay with that. Normally you want a guy that kicks field goals a bunch and then like 1 or 2 extra points, but I just have to take the volume. Wow, Waddle, 2-point conversion is good. Wow. Okay, Waddle. 16-point game. Okay. Yeah, I mean, for being a guy, being one of the greatest kickers of all time, and then, you know, being like bottom 3 as of like last week or the week before, just weird to be able to see a guy like Jay Tuck be a Hall of Famer have these struggles. But I feel that a lot of kickers have been struggling on the hashes, and they've been struggling left hash, right hash, middle hash, you know, depending on what hash it's on, with the angle that you're trying to line up. Wind has been a factor, and also just the confidence and the swagger. You've seen a lot of kickers miss extra points more than usual, let alone field goals. And if you can't make a 15-yard extra point, no wonder they can't make 30, 40, 50, 60-yard field goals if they're having a hard time with gimmies. So, you know, just unfortunate, but we still all appreciate what Jay Tuck has done in his career. And again, if you're going to make a run, you know, with the Ravens, with that defense being kind of piss poor, you're going to need Tucker to be accurate if you're going to try to outscore opponents, right? Because at some point you're going to face a defense, you know, whether it's the Chiefs or the Steelers, and they know how to slow down Lamar. But if he's not playing the Chiefs or the Steelers, Lamar is amazing. So you just got to cross your fingers that you don't play against those two teams. Stuart in the building. What's good? Yeah, but I don't think any of us anticipated, you know, Tucker being like, you know, one of the top 3 kickers, a lot of times number 1 or number 2, and then to be all the way down at the bottom. But hopefully he'll recover and then be able to, you know, at least get into like, you know, maybe the middle by the time the season's over. But I mean, we are kind of getting to the back stretch now. So, Caleb. Do you have a 2 quarterback starting league in fantasy? So you're starting Caleb and Tua? Is that what's going on? We're at 28, 62 to go. And we'll be doing Chiefs and Raiders at noon tomorrow. A little bit of a trap game for the Chiefs, but, you know, we would assume that they'll find a way to win like they always do by 7 or less. And then tomorrow we got Oregon State and Boise State. I'll be up early watching that, and Colorado, Oklahoma State. I'll be watching both of those. And then later in the evening we got Georgia and Georgia Tech. I'll watch that at 4:30. I gotcha. Well, congratulations on an 8-4 record, my guy. You know, I wish I could say the same, but you know, at some point in my life, something like that had to have happened. I just wish it wasn't this year. But I mean, I guess I have to be blessed that it hasn't happened to me ever until now, you know. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, we got a lot of smart people in the room here with me, and I do a lot of reading, a lot of film study, a lot of analytics, a lot of stats, a lot of film. And again, I try to treat every team as if they were my own. For NFL, college football, baseball, basketball, football, hockey, NASCAR, wrestling, whatever. And try not to have that biased opinion. Just appreciate greatness wherever it's at, and and that way we can educate people the right way, and have people make the right decisions with betting and fantasy football and just, based off kind of our rankings of players, in all the sports. 27-11 Packers. And I appreciate the kind words, man. I grind and grind and grind, and I don't take holidays off, and it's been a wild run, but I'm nowhere near, being close to finished. I only really feel like I'm like 1% into my journey. If we could ever get enough people to support, me and Paisley and support the channel together, we could really take off. And again, there's a lot of competition, with like different, channels that are out there. But I feel like, this channel is very unique compared to a lot of the others. And I feel like I'm more accessible as a host than most. And we want to make sure we have the right type of people, and we've had to weed out, hundreds, on the channel, and getting those bad seeds out of here. So I would rather have less subs and less people in the room to have it, a positive vibe feel, rather than have, like 50 people in the room, but it's all chaotic and people are talking shit left and right, and the mods have to work extra, and of course, we're going to get to a point, hopefully, where we have some more consistent people coming through on the daily, but, we'll have our peaks and our valleys. And again, when the Mariners end up being elite, like the Ducks, then we're going to have a boost in the numbers, just like the two of the top 4 streams of all time on this channel have come this year. Boise State and Oregon, and then Oregon and Wisconsin, where we hit, 9,800 people and almost 10,000 on the Boise State matchup earlier in the year. And then we hit almost 16,000 people for Wisconsin, Oregon. A lot of them coming in the fourth quarter as haters, hoping that Oregon loses, but that's fine. You got to take the good and the bad and the ugly. It's not like everyone's going to want to cheer for your team winning. A lot of times people like to watch people suffer and get sad and angry and mad on stream because they just love seeing people miserable. If they're miserable, they want to see other people get angry and miserable. They don't want to see people happy and doing better than them, so it's all a part of the business, I appreciate you. Yep. Real recognizes real. And again, we'll be doing college football in the NFL. And then once that's over, we'll transition obviously to Monday Night Raw on Netflix, a little bit of NBA, college hoops, and NHL. And then we'll transition obviously full-time into MLB for the Mariners once we hit April. And then that'll get us covered pretty much until football season again. So, it'll be a baseball channel during spring and then a football channel primarily, for the fall. But I'm always willing to sprinkle in some of those, filler stream ideas like college hoops, NBA, NHL, wrestling, NASCAR if need be. So I don't really feel out of my element out of anything. So. Yeah. It felt good, to win that. And again, we got the Huskies coming up in a couple days. Big Ten championship against Ohio State, and they will be favored. Oregon will be an underdog, and that's fine. That's the way I like it. And then hopefully it'll end up being at the end of the day Oregon and Ohio State in the Natty. And if it's not that, I would like it to be Oregon, Georgia. But based off the college football playoff committee, they're kind of screwing Oregon over, that if they give them a first round bye, they would have to play Georgia in the next round, which doesn't seem that fair. But, like I would rather be the 5 seed and be Ohio State and play the first week against Arizona State. They have an easier path than Oregon does. It's like if we got a better record than Ohio State, then why are we getting punished? That's why I think the committee is all wrong.
Pulls the trigger, he knocks it down. He's a big-time ball guy, big-time playmaker. He's been around the line of scrimmage a lot more, making an impact there.
off the stretch of 11 consecutive Jordan Love complete.
Second down and 10. Love. And Love is drastically improved, right? And you can tell the Green Bay Packers are legit the third best team in the NFC. You know, it goes Lions, right? Eagles, Packers. But at any given moment, any of those three teams could beat each other. You know, the Packers and the Lions, you know, are very familiar with each other. And we know with Philly and Jalen and Saquon, you know, if that offense is rolling, whether they have Dallas Goedert, Devontae Smith, and A.J. Brown, or only a couple of them, defense much improved. And again, one of those three teams more than likely is going to be a team that represents a Super Bowl for the NFC. And then obviously Seattle's trying to win the NFC West. I'm trying to win the NFC South with the Bucs, but I'm not sure how far Seattle and Tampa or Atlanta could go. And then you got also the Vikings and the Commandos that might be able to sneak in, but I'm not sure if they could either win a playoff game either. You know, so we'll see where it goes. And then obviously the Chiefs and the Bills are the cream of the crop. And then after those two teams, then you got the Steelers, the Ravens, and the Chargers that could end up, you know, possibly doing a little bit of damage as well. And then obviously, you know, the Denver Broncos, if they keep playing the way that they're playing, they might be able to get into the playoffs too with Justin Herbert. And we'd have three teams in the AFC West with the Chiefs, the Chargers, and the Broncos all making the playoffs. It is possible. Green Bay with a punt. All right, Jonnu Smith, and Jonnu Smith. Ready, break. Houston as well. Nice catch. First down, Dolphins. You can tell they're going to gain some momentum now. You know, it just stinks that it takes them so long to get into a rhythm. Like the Dolphins are going to lose, but you're going to get a nice comeback, just like we saw with the Bears and the Giants against Detroit and Dallas. We already know the home teams are going to win all three games, but again, the momentum should start to get a little bit better here for Miami. And don't be shocked, you know, if they end up scoring a touchdown and a field goal in the, you know, fourth quarter, or if they end up getting 2 touchdowns and making this game interesting. Ooh, what kind of board game? Operation, Monopoly, Chutes and Ladders, Dominoes, Checkers, Chess. And I'll be sending you another Chase shirt, Britt, at some point in December. Then you'll have 2. $5 holla. Oh, Joey Harrington, my guy. But I mean, there's other ones that I would be picking over Dennis Dixon or Dylan Gabriel. You know, for me, Marcus Mariota, Joey Harrington, Bo Nix, Justin Herbert, those are better than Gabriel and Dixon. If we're talking about my 4. Joey Harrington is the quarterback that made me love Oregon Duck football. Even though I saw Chris Miller, Tony Graziani, you know, you got to think, I've been watching Duck football since the 80s when they would win like 1 or 2 games. So, you know, to see quarterbacks that aren't really that famous, Joey was the first one that kind of put us on the map with Mike Bellotti. So, you know, Joey Harrington, you know, before that was like Akili Smith and whatnot, but Joey Harrington would be like my favorite old school quarterback. And then obviously I love Justin Herbert. I love Bo Nix. I love Marcus Mariota. Those would be my 4. And then, obviously DeAnthony Thomas, LaMichael James are going to be my favorite running back and wide receivers ever. And then obviously my favorite defensive player of all time for the Ducks, Haloti Ngata, hands down. But, but out of those 3 quarterbacks, definitely Joey Harrington. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. Like, I have a rare white sewn Nike, because normally college football jerseys don't have the names sewn in the back, right? They're just blank. But Nike, for their Heisman tour, did a few Joey Harrington jerseys through Nike that actually had the Harrington sewn that Nike made, limited edition. And they made like green ones that were more common, but the white is extremely rare. It's worth like, $200-$300, and I ended up getting it for like $30 off a guy on eBay in like Ohio, and I would have probably paid $300 for it, and I paid like $30. So, you never know what kind of deal that you might end up getting, but I would have to go Joey out of those 3. Thank you for your support. I'll show you the jersey, though. And I've never seen another one in Oregon ever. Like, when I go to Ducks games, like, no one is like, where did you get that? Like this white jersey is like impossible to find. I also have a replica Duck helmet, that the exact one that Joey has, like this as well, here in my room. I wish I could wear it for streams, but it's green, so I would just be like a floating head. You would just see my head, not the helmet. But I would, love to be able to wear, a lot of my gear. But I have a lot of Green Apple gear that I can't wear, like Bo Nix, Justin Herbert, jerseys, stuff like that. But, that's my guy. Well, we had, the 3 M's. We had Moretti, Mitchell, and Mallard, and Wesley Mallard went to the Giants, and then we had David Moretti, and we had the 3 M's. So Moretti, Mallard, and Mitchell. Mitchell was the bald guy that was a little undersized at linebacker that was very likable. I don't know. I know all the random names of all the Duck players. I mean, like I said, I usually go to a game or 2 a year. I didn't get a chance to go this year, unfortunately, but hopefully we end up winning it all. I went last year to the Ducks and Colorado Buffs game with Shedeur Sanders. Travis Hunter was hurt, and that was when they were undefeated, and they came into Oregon talking all that shit, and then we smacked the shit out of them. But Jacob in the building, what's good? Yeah, Joey, like I said, Joey is my favorite throwback quarterback. It's like one of my favorite Duck jerseys. And then LaMichael James, Natty jersey. I got a DeAnthony Thomas Black Mamba custom jersey, black. But, I wouldn't buy a jersey of Dylan Gabriel, unfortunately. Happy Thanksgiving, Jacob. But, we've had, Eric Armstead, DeForest Buckner, you had TJ Ward, Patrick Chung, Walter Thurman III. So, I mean, the Ducks have had some, players that have made the NFL. Some guys, haven't panned out to their best of their ability, but it seems like within the last few years, more of the Duck players are panning out in this new recruiting class that we've been able to manufacture, whether it be in the Mario Cristobal era or in the Dan Lanning era. There we go, Tyreek. I appreciate the support. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. Appreciate you. Yeah, Chung was solid. I mean, at one point we had our whole secondary in the NFL, but then also we had a point where we had one of the worst secondaries in football, I remember, where we were giving up 300, 400, 500 yards a game through the air. It was embarrassing. I mean, I have all the old video games on PlayStation and PlayStation 2 with all those old rosters, so. But I did fire one up 2005. I think it has Larry Fitzgerald on the cover, and Haloti Ngata is in that game, and I usually play with him. So I think Jonathan Stewart is the running back, and I think, God, who's the quarterback in it? Maybe Dixon? Yes, Chung Wood, for sure. 27-11, and the Dolphins starting to get a little bit of rhythm. Packer defense slowing down just enough. Offensive line for the Dolphins getting dominated, but again, quick release. And as long as you can get into a rhythm, they should be able to march down here for a touchdown at some point. We're at 33, 67 to go. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm excited to be able to give a gift here, too, for my friend dropping off the food. At some point, he's going to end up having almost all my collection, but besides the stuff that I bury. Scavenger hunt for all of my collectibles. Will you find it? That's up to you. 27-11, Packers. Shotgun set. Tua. Odell Beckham Jr. First down, Dolphins. Reflect with a $5. Appreciate you. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little cactus jack. Bang, bang. Thank you so much. Every dollar counts. But even though I didn't get, Thanksgiving food just yet, it is on the way. I did order that Thanksgiving sub from Firehouse Subs, though, and I didn't know if I really wanted to pay $30 for a Thanksgiving sub, including delivery, but I'll tell you what, it was worth it. It was so worth it. It was so good. And then I ended up getting pizza yesterday, too, from my favorite round table, so that way I could end up sharing it with family and having something to eat today, while I wait for this Thanksgiving food this evening. Yeah, I watch that show sometimes on Oak Island with the treasures. Yeah, I won't bury it there, but I'll definitely have a lot, to be able to go through. I mean, my collection, you got to think, I'm 42 years old, right? I've been collecting since I was 5, right? And a lot of my stuff is still in the package. Like probably 95% of my collection is still in the package in like mint or near mint. And then the stuff that's not in the package is in great condition. Whether it's starting lineups, figures, cards, or whatever. Waddle, first down, Dolphins. Yeah. I had a hustler mentality even when I was young. Like I knew that like my Ken Griffey Jr. autograph, and even though kids were trying to, trade me for it in the neighborhood, I was too smart for them. I was already a mini hustler early on, whether it was Pogs, Magic the Gathering, anything that was a trend or that had something to do with a card, I was all about it. Handoff, cut back, off a tackle. Wow. Achan. Yeah, but I've always been a businessman early on, like even with my Jordan rookie, back when I was 21, getting a Jordan rookie that was worth $2,500 on the open market, but we had a bad economy at that time, LeBron's rookie year, and I won it for $1,000. Ended up selling it for $6,000-7,000, but now it's worth $20,000 to $30,000. So if I didn't have dreams or goals, I still would have it to this day. But sometimes you got to sacrifice things that are worth a lot of money that are going to continue to be worth a lot of money to make your dreams come true. So, and then obviously when I sold it, I ended up using the money to buy the computer that you see me on, the microphones, the green screen, the speakers, all of that type of stuff. So, and I ended up owning the Jordan rookie for a long time. I had it from 2001 all the way to 2016. So I owned it for 15 years. So I got to appreciate it. And I'll tell you, it was weird having it because every time I held it, I felt like an alien or something. Like it was like holding like a gold bar, or, I felt like some kind of outlaw, like Jesse James or something, and I had something that was so extremely rare and valuable. Tua? Come on, Jonnu Smith. Yeah, and on top of that, I've probably given away like my card in my toy collection, I've probably given away 20%, 25% of my total collection, even at this point, because if I know someone like has an appreciation for something, like a favorite team or a favorite player, and then I, would give it to that person as long as they wouldn't sell my item, or at least I would hope that they wouldn't sell it. 4th and goal. Tua. And nowhere to go. Flag on the play. Yeah. And I had like a PSA Mint 9, so there was only one grade higher that you could get. Sometimes I wish I still had it, but, it's like $20,000 card or 20,000 subscribers and, living my dream and building the connections. Would I do it all over again? Yeah, you bet your ass I would. And before I die, hopefully I can end up getting another Jordan rookie, except I won't be able to afford a 9, maybe an 8, because the values have increased so much. So unless I become rich, and I can end up spending 20 grand on a Jordan rookie, but I probably would end up buying other things if I had that kind of money. Oh, really? What's that worth? You've had some good luck finding vintage t-shirts and stuff at Goodwills and whatnot. $3,500. So it's worth $3,500, or she sold it for $3,500. It's always good when you can end up finding things. My dad is a picker. I'm a picker. I don't really go to garage sales. Normally I would go to like stores, and Toys R Us was my go-to, because I'd always be able to find the exclusive stuff there, before the kids. Gronk spiked it and got mad when their parents told them no, they couldn't have that toy. So I would usually go to Toys R Us twice a week and scoop up really good stuff. Turtles, wrestling figures, Walking Dead, Star Wars, whatever it may be. But since Toys R Us ended up, closing, and now they're trying to kind of open up in certain locations, but having a little section inside of Macy's isn't the same as going into an actual Toys R Us store. That a piece of my childhood died when that closed down. So, well worth over 10. Oh, she sold it for 35, but it's worth over 10. Wow.
And we're gonna be adventures, and we're gonna have swords.
Opinion was great idea. What will you do when you grow up? Swords not included.
Sweetness. Gingerbread.
I got you.
Give me that.
Yeah, but that was the biggest come up. I mean, again, if I wasn't, into dreams or whatever, I could have ended up selling it, at a point like now, and getting like 20, 30 grand, instead of the 6 or 7, but I knew as soon as that Michael Jordan documentary came out that it was going to spike and it was going to go up and it was going to stay going up. And I mean, especially it's Jordan, it's like that the card is never going to go down. It's always going to go up. It's Michael Jordan. It's like the most iconic Fleer card ever. It's never going to go down in value. It's always going to go up. It's always going to be coveted. And also what he's been able to accomplish in the clothing line and the shoes. So it's not just what he did on the basketball court. It's what he's done to mainstream and clothes and everything that he's been able to bring to Jordan Brand, and now bringing that to NASCAR. It's like, wish I had it still, but sometimes things happen for a reason.
Sometimes it's going to be the way they play and the way they can do things. This is continuing for Miami, their inability in the cold to win games like this.
Yeah, a lot of it has to do with how you're built. If you're all
27-11 Packers, 9:33 left.
environment like this, you get those goal line type situations. It's not really going to go as well as you want to. We'll see that again tonight.
Shotgun set. Love. Green Bay's offensive line has done a fantastic job tonight. Flag on the play.
Somewhere other than where the ball was.
This is Ramsey on Octavian Wicks. He gets his hand in there. I think again, it's the wrong number. I don't think you can call that.
Yeah, Kraft is nice. I mean, you got to think that, Packers always have athletic running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, always. Like, go back to the Brett Favre era, Don Majkowski era, going to every era, Brett Favre, any quarterback they've had, they've always had weapons. They've never been like, oh my God, we don't have a wide receiver. They've always had, Amon Green, Freeman. They've always had, solid Chamora. It's like they might not be like the best in the world, but they're definitely solid pieces for what they are for whoever the quarterback is. Donald Driver, sometimes it's those quarterbacks making those players, but they definitely have built a good chemistry with their quarterback. And the same thing goes with Reed and with Tucker. Christian Watson, Dobbs, whoever it is, they got something cooking. And Jacobs and Aaron Jones are pretty equal in skill set, but I think that Josh Jacobs was the upgrade. Aaron Jones still would have been good for the Packers this year with that good supporting cast, but I think I would rather go with Jacobs. Look at that move by Jacobs. Oh, my. That was like when he was on the Raiders. Wow. I mean, essentially production would have been pretty similar, but I think, based on what you've seen out of Aaron Jones this year, it hasn't been very good, but Minnesota hasn't really been giving him the same type of opportunities that he got when he was on Green Bay. So. Yeah, I think a lot of people were surprised. Dolphins pick it up. I'm not sure if that was a backwards pass, but they're going to take it. Touchdown, Dolphins, but I don't know if that's legit or not. But also, too, when you're on the Raiders, if you go to a new scene that has better supporting cast, you're going to play better, so. Yeah, forward pass. But I think the Packers are going to be able to go further with Jacobs than Jones. I mean, just based on watching both players this year, it looks like Jacobs' legs are a little bit fresher. Aaron Jones doesn't really seem like he's got the same type of pep in his step like he used to. But again, offensive lines have been a little bit different for both teams also. And Jordan Love is a better player than Sam Darnold. I think that's pretty clear.
interceptions.
27-11 here on Thanksgiving evening. Hope everyone had a fantastic Thanksgiving. Turkey, ham, mashed potatoes, gravy, cranberry, stuffing, deviled eggs, whatever, rolls, pie, pecan, apple, pumpkin, cherry. Yes, please. Tucker Kraft. I like seeing good point totals by a lot of people in the league so far. One of better Sarah's point totals so far this year. Ooh, Jacobs with a big total against you, reflect with E. He's got 23.7 out of Moore and 21.5 out of Jacobs, and that's exactly what you need if you're going to try to compete with someone like Reflect or any of the playoff teams at the top. You need to go off on all your players because you know that person you're playing is. So you can't have, numbers like 4 or 5 or 3. That ain't going to cut it. So we're at 38. 12 more to 50. 62 more to a hundo. Yeah, E normally isn't going to be lighting it up like that. So definitely making it interesting, but awesome decision with that Dallas defense. Wish CeeDee Lamb could have got you some more points, but at least you got 2 touchdowns at Laporta, and those extra 5 points that you got out of Laporta and the extra 8 out of Dallas, then you could have, added that to the CD total, and then that would have been 18. And that's exactly probably what you were thinking that he was going to get. So it all kind of evens out, Just unfortunate when you ever have a guy shit the bed or get injured during the game, which would happen. So, but you haven't really been burnt too often with, bad point totals. Like you can still have a guy shit the bed once or twice and you still end up winning. 3rd and goal. But nice to see, good players and bad players in fantasy, trying to at least light it up, Third and goal. Oh, Wicks down to the 1, and this might be a Josh Jacobs touchdown right up the gut. E is really trying to make it interesting, unless this is penalties on the Packers, and it comes back. Could also be a QB sneak by Love. Wow. Was that Jenkins? Oh, Jenkins. What are you doing, bro? But I'm trying to give Shep a run for his money. 13.2 out of Jonnu Smith, 11 out of Bates. So looks like I made the right decision there. But we'll see what Mark Andrews does against Philly. He could still end up getting the same amount of points as Jonnu. But at least I got over 10 at the tight end position. But field goal is up and good. McManus with 33-yarder, 30-11. And hopefully I can get some garbage time touchdown with Jonnu Smith here at the end of the game to get me to a 20. And Zini's going to get Pacheco back. So again, if it ends up being you and Zini in the championship reflect, now she's going to end. If Pacheco can get back to his, former self, then that's another piece that she hasn't had almost all year. And then adding on with Burrow and Chase Brown and Zay, another fucking piece in there you got to worry about. So, but even with that being said, I still think that you have a team good enough to combat that. I'm not sure if Shep's team can combat that with her roster, but again, it all depends on matchups, right? It's all, do you got a good matchup or is it a hard matchup? And, you could have a player that has been amazing all year, but if the matchup is against a good defense, that could derail a chance for a championship, unfortunately. Happy Thanksgiving.
Give the pitch that showed you get them. Welcome to your Walmart. Y'all see this? Patrick Mahomes is saying goodbye. People was tricked. Where you going?
was actually saying goodbye to his old phone.
Oh, so this is the amazing new iPhone 16, the team mode.
It's the first iPhone built.
Looks like we gained a sub.
That's like peanut butter on jelly on go. 3-4 iPhone 16s on us.
24 subs away from 20,700.
Versus the other guy. What a deal. That's a lot. You ask me. Y'all give it away too fast. You know, slow down.
56 is awesome. Enough.
30-11 Packers.
Honestly, can't imagine where I'd be without one word. Got it. Reeling in fish. Eating fish. Fish in the sea. Movie. Navy Federal Credit. Our numbers are the mission.
Let's take a look at the Walmart. We're talking about Isaiah McDuff in the linebacker.
Hi, honey.
It's questionable on whether or not he was going to play in this game with the knee injury. He's played, and he's made a big impact both in the run game and as a pass defender. This guy's been all over the place. What?
Oh.
That guy's one of them.
The question remains to 10 tackles tonight, leading the Packers.
Coaches are nervous. We're not going to have enough running backs. Something's going to be able to play. Shows up, really get the best out of the
Maybe work this out. You
never know.
never know, right?
Double E.
The 33, Melissa.
Like speaking of turducken, we started at
Yeah, you got off to a good start with the your point totals. It's going to come down to either you or Matt for that last spot. The other three are already in, so. Happy Thanksgiving. 30-11 Packers. And I got my friend on his way home from his family, and he's dropping over some food for me since I didn't get a chance to celebrate with my dad and my stepmom, which I will next Sunday. So that will be Chiefs and Chargers. Unfortunately, I won't be able to do a stream, but at least that will be the day that I get together to have the meal and see the fam. So it's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Yeah, nice to be able to see everyone scoring points for the most part. Not a lot of points left on the bench today. H-Chan underneath. Third down and 9. First down, Dolphins. Move the chains. Yeah, understandably so. I love you, bro. Pass incomplete. How many times have you listened to the Kendrick album, Elliot? I think I'm up to like 4 times through now, or 5, maybe 6. I'm gonna have to probably tap into the Tyler album at some point this weekend too. I haven't got a chance to listen to that from the beginning to the end, so. Yeah, but surrounding yourself around good people, that's really, the all you can do, But we're definitely happy to have you, on this channel. And again, you're the original OG, You're one of the youngest, and you've been here since I started. So, and I mean, hell, when you first started watching the channel, you were a little kid. So, and now you're grown. So, Janu, baby. Shotgun set. Give me Janu Smith, garbage touchdown, baby.
and all the other stuff. He said, it's GM, I'm recruiting, I wasn't coaching. You're a coach that's lucky to
Tipped for a touchdown. Jonnu Smith to Tyreek. Why couldn't that have been Tyreek to Jonnu? Damn it. But nice job by Tyreek. There's some more points for Sarah. This is probably going to be Sarah's best week of the year. Hitting on quite a few pieces there. Wish Jonnu could have got that, though. $13, my boy. Going from a boy to a man. Double E, Mr. Pep. 2-point attempt. Another tip, and then intercepted or incomplete. Good points there with Tyreek for you. I mean, obviously the scoreboard says 30-17, but it's nowhere near that point total. It kind of feels like the score is like 50-17, but that's what garbage points will do. And then we'll do Raiders and Chiefs tomorrow, Ducks and Huskies on Saturday, and then Sunday will be the Bills and the Niners. Monday, Browns and Broncos for Bo Nix. Can't wait. All right, Green Bay, your turn.
The Dolphins have declared we're going for the onside kick, so the hands team is on. 3 successful onside kicks in 37 tries.
There you go. That's what you were supposed to get every week the whole season. Better late than never, though. You know, fantasy-wise, regardless if you're eliminated or you are in the playoffs or you're in the hunt. You know, when it gets to this point of the year, you just want, you know, your lineups to hit if you're still, you know, making the changes and whatnot and trying to onside smothered there by the Packers. But I hope I get some apple pie. I hope I get cherry pie, pecan pie, lots of turkey, mashed potatoes and gravy, a couple rolls. I don't even know what to anticipate, but hopefully it's a good amount of food for me to eat today and tomorrow before we do Raiders and Chiefs, which will be on at Prime, Amazon, at noon. So it'll be a little bit earlier than what we're used to doing a stream, besides maybe like on the weekends when we do college football. But it is Black Friday. Some people will be shopping, I understand. But we'll be doing that stream tomorrow, and hopefully it ends up being halfway decent. Yeah, Jacobs. Well, you got to think Green Bay is the third best team in the NFC. Lions 1, Philly, Eagles 2, Packers 3. And I would assume one of those 3 teams will be in the Super Bowl. And then you got Chiefs, Bills, and then the rest. Ravens, Steelers, Chargers, Broncos, Texans, where they're all pretty good, but I think the cream of the crop will be more the Chiefs and the Bills. But we'll see how it all plays out. 30-17 Green Bay. Less than 3 minutes to go in the fourth. Shotgun set, Love. Jacobs. Good tackle there by Miami. -3 yards. Sealer with the tackle. And I'll definitely be waking up early to watch that Boise State, Oregon State. Got to be able to soak in Genty every single game. You're seeing a running back once in a generation. You don't see, even when Reggie Bush and Derrick Henry and these other guys that won the Heisman at running back, his numbers are way better than those guys. Really, he's putting up numbers like Barry Sanders, like the best of the best. Heisman should go to Genty, but I doubt that it will, but it should. Third down and 11 on the 50. 20 plus, 5 out of the last 6. Woo! That's nice, dude. That's nice. John Gruden is a menace on social media, and I love it. Now he's with Barstool, so then they can make money off of him as well and get him more views. Gruden is the man. He is hilario. Third down and 11. Trips left. Shotgun set. Dolphins in man. Love going long, going deep. Got a man. Christian Watson 1-on-2. Incomplete. The Cowboys could use him. There's quite a few teams that could use him. Hopefully he goes somewhere where they have a decent offensive line, but yeah, definitely could be the first running back off the board and could be picked somewhere between 5 and 10 for sure. Yeah. Bad teams doing bad things, though. And again, it reminded me exactly of Justin Herbert in the early part of his career with Anthony Lynn or with Staley, because we would see that same type of fucking bullshit, where you got like 30 seconds left, you got a timeout, it's taking the quarterback too long, they don't call the timeout, and then on top of that, you don't put yourself in a position to get the field goal or the touchdown throw. You waste 30 seconds, you don't call timeout, and then the throw wasn't even that good, and you put yourself in a position that could have maybe tied or won the game, and all you ended up doing is looking like an idiot, and Eberflus needs to be fired for sure. But Poles, Eberflus, Waldron, these guys shouldn't be there, and Waldron got fired, Eberflus is next, and you need to be able to find people that understand football, and it shows you, even people in the professional ranks, doesn't mean that just because you're a coach on the professional side doesn't mean you know what you're doing.
Take one. Talk to us about this feed me thing you've been doing after big plays. Just celebrating.
Like, why do you think it is that so many players celebrate that eating motion?
Do they? You trying to make us all hungry, Saquon? I don't even know how you make that connection. Come on, man.
Well, shit, honestly, any of us in the room could have called the play better than that. First you end up spiking the ball or calling timeout and, get your bearings, so that way you can, figure out 2 play calls, because that's what the good teams do. They give you 2 play calls. You have your main and you have your audible, and then you go and see what the defense lines up in and then go from there, but it shows you, some coaches know exactly what to do and things have been practiced, and you can definitely tell the coaches that have not practiced situational football. And if you're not good at situational football, like the Oregon Ducks or like the Detroit Lions, you will fail. And there will be times that you get exploited. And, that was maddening to watch, but especially when Chicago could have tied it up or won the game, because it felt like the momentum was in Chicago's favor, on that last drive. They were, kind of getting into a little bit of a rhythm, and the Lions lost a shitload of players to injury in that game too. So, but that's what happens. Oh, to be a coordinator? Fucking 11, 12, 13, 20? I mean, there's a reason why there's not very many good OCs or DCs in the league. And normally if they end up being really, really good, then they get poached for a head coaching job somewhere else the next year on a shitty team. Unless you end up being like Ben Johnson and you end up staying to win Super Bowls with Detroit. It's like, oh, I can be the head coach of this shit team, like let's say the Panthers, or I could be OC for a Super Bowl winning team, maybe back to back. I know I would rather just stay as the OC, even though, some of these guys have dreams of being a head coach, but, you got to have the right group together, and Detroit definitely has a great coaching staff, and that's a big reason why they have success, and Oregon's got a good coaching staff, and that's why we have the success that we have, We're more prepared than the other teams. Ooh, look at that. Oh, that turducken. Oh, my. Oh, absolutely. Dylan Gabriel is the worst quarterback that we've had in a minute. And again, it's all about, understanding that it's the run game and the defense and, kind of trying to do it like Harbaugh, going from Michigan to the Chargers, right? It's not that same type of passing. It's just run the ball, play good defense, and let that win the game for you. And of course, you're going to need a capable quarterback to every once in a while, run a first down or make a first down with their arm, but it's not as prevalent as maybe years past, and the offense doesn't look as sexy as it maybe used to in the past, but maybe this is what we needed. We needed to flip the script and to be a good running team and a good, defensive team for the very first time. And, if we end up winning the championship this year, obviously we have the formula, and I'm hoping that we do. I got to get a Ducks natty and a Mariners pennant before I die. First down and 20, 30-17 Green Bay. Yeah, Caleb did look lost a lot last year. I agree with that. That's why Michael Penix Jr. and Bo Nix were the most NFL ready with Jaden Daniels, and that still remains true. We haven't seen Michael, get a chance to play yet, but, give him some time. And, even Drake May and Caleb and, J.J. McCarthy will probably flash, here and there. Tipped and complete. And honestly, if Dan stays for 5 to 10 years and we win the Natty this year, think about the recruiting trail that will follow next year. All the people that are going to transfer to Oregon will have a very good chance to get back to the Natty the next year if we win it this year. I'm not saying that we would turn into a dynasty, but it's possible that we could turn into the next Georgia or Bama if he stays for 10 years. Now, if he dips and they fire Kirby Smart and he goes to Georgia, then everything's off the table. But if he stays and he's loyal to Oregon, we could end up being, we could end up getting a couple natties possibly in a 10-year gap. So, because you got to think we probably wouldn't win every year we went to the natty. There probably would be some losses, but, you would think there would be at least a win if we went 3 times in 10 years, including this year. So, at least that's what I'm hoping for. And we've already lost twice to Auburn, right, and Ohio State with Mariota and obviously with LaMichael James in that era back then with Darren Thomas. At some point, it's our turn. We got to win. Jonnu Smith again. Let's go. Steve Entman, yeah. Tua. Mostert. Let's go, baby. Jonnu Smith, 20-plus points, 3 weeks in a row. Bang, 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 baby. And I was thinking, do I start Mark Andrews after Jonnu Smith? Because I didn't really know if Johnny was going to get in the end zone, but I knew he would get targets and they would be losing this game. And thank God that he ended up playing well. I'm giving Shep a run for his money. I'm projected for 140. He's for 128. Jonnu Smith, 21.3. And I got Detroit's kicker, number one kicker, Bates with 11. Good start for me. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm going to win. I had a good start last week, and I thought I was going to beat Chief Will Chief, and I ended up losing by 20, and I thought I had a pretty good week. So, we'll see how it goes, but hopefully my luck will continue. But if I end up losing the last 2 weeks, if I lose this week to Shep and lose to Megan, I've already given up the most points all year to the whole league. So, just hasn't been my year. Tua steps up in the pocket. Oh, it's 12 noon. You know what time it is. Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. But based off his first half numbers, it didn't look like he was going to get even close to fucking 15 or 20. So I'm happy that we have a lot of check down garbage. And there it is. Final score. Packers 30, Dolphins 17. Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, we definitely have that in common. Well, I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very much. My friend is going to be showing up here probably within the next half hour. I got to go take Paisley on a walk, and then hopefully I'll be able to enjoy some turkey dinner for the first time today. I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very much. Stand with Ukraine is trying to get the likes up for me. Where are we at on the likes? We're probably way behind the 8 ball, but I hope that we can get to 20. Where are we at? Some of y'all got some backup accounts. We're at 18. We need 2 more. So there we go. 19. We need 1 more. So hopefully we can get 1 more person to smash that like button to get that number there. But I appreciate you guys very, very much. I hope you guys enjoyed the NFL games that we had today. They actually were much better than we anticipated. And then tomorrow I am going to be live at noon Pacific for the Raiders and Chiefs, which will be 2 o'clock in the Midwest, 3 o'clock, obviously on the East Coast. If you guys don't got anything going on, I know some people for Black Friday will be shopping. Some people shop online. I get it, Amazon and whatnot. But I will be enjoying the Chiefs and the Raiders on Friday at noon. Then Saturday, Ducks and Huskies around 4:30. And then on Sunday, we got the Bills and the Niners. And then Monday, we got the Browns and the Broncos and my boy Bo Nix. Can't wait. So we got some fun, obviously, here in the next few days. So I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very much. Happy Thanksgiving 2024. You guys are the best. And I got one question for you. Who you know talks sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Happy Thanksgiving. Love you guys, and I'm out. Gang.